Phil Host, welcome to that's you. Welcome to Muscle Talks podcast, brother.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
We're excited to have you on. Look, to be honest, this is a little bit of a new set. So you, having that we gave you the wrong address, welcome twice.
Yeah.
Welcome to the new studio. All right, let's get in it because no one wants to hear about new studios and that you got lost, or we made you get lost. And pardon that word, get lost. 43, based in Sydney, married with 3 kids, and I've been involved in the bodybuilding and gym culture for over 20 years. You started back in 2023. And
No, 2003.
No, did I say 2023? Oh my God, 2003.
I'm fresh. 3 years in the space.
No, you're in the space, and then we had to get you on straight
2003,
away.
yeah.
We started in 2023. So you said here, I'm pretty open, honest with conversation, so happy to go in deep on any of it.
Yes.
All right, so let's just start, if you don't mind, because I'm sure some people, would be interested to know. A few years before the Zyzz era, you were actually friends with Zyzz, and his name is Assis. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So, I wasn't friends with him before the era. Okay. I met him during his peak.
Okay.
And we very quickly became close friends.
Okay, all right, so back then, I guess chasing aesthetics, partying, gym culture, you've read internet forums and trying to become the biggest, the leanest version of yourself. Like a lot of guys from that era, I went through the extremes, getting super shredded, rebounding, dirty bulks, chasing validation and all that. The gym became a massive part of my identity early on. Do you want to give us a bit of a story of earlier on your gym? I guess you started in 2003. Tell us your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, even further back than then, I think the biggest kind of milestone that really got me into health and fitness was my dad had passed away when I was 5 from a heart attack. And
How old was he?
He was 55. So still relatively young, right? I mean, I think 55 is...
I'm 57.
Right? So so he died from a heart attack when he was 55 and I was 5. And at the time, I don't think it really, it was there. So it planted the seed. But at the time, I wasn't life-changing because as far as fitness, but I think it stuck with me. And over the years, I just really had this thought in my mind that I'm going to die from a heart attack one day.
Really?
Right? And it just stuck with me. And I knew that my old man was, he was Aussie. His background was he's 3rd, 4th generation German.
Right.
So loved to drink meat pies, and looking after himself was
steak, sausages, mash.
Yeah, all that stuff. No veggies.
All that Northern European hearty starch food. Hey guys, Steve here. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. You know the drill. We'd love you to subscribe. We'd love you to hit the notification bell. Why? It gets us out there, allows us to go and get bigger, better, greater. We've already had some great guests, as you know, but we want to continue this. We want to continue this journey with you. So if you could, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified each time we put up a new podcast. Thank you for allowing me to take you away from the podcast. Let's get back to it.
So loved it, and had a big belly, and died from a heart attack because he wasn't healthy, and that stuck with me for a while. And probably when I turned, it was in 2003, so I was 20, 21. I wasn't looking after myself at all. I was airbrushing cars back then out of my backyard, and I would just go to uni or TAFE. And in between classes, I was airbrushing cars back in the early 2000s. This is when...
Explain airbrushing.
So airbrushing murals on cars.
Yeah, I thought it was that. So you could do the pinstripe, a certain pinstripe, or a certain...
I was doing more artwork.
The bonnet, artwork on the bonnet.
Exactly. So that's from the 70s, right?
From the panel vans, the good old Sandman panel van.
Sandman is an iconic car, right? So this is back in the 70s that started.
Yes, of course.
But in the early 2000s, it came back around again.
Right.
With the, the car scene was massive then. And I was into it hard. So I was airbrushing cars in my backyard. And in between airbrushing cars, I was eating Maccas, smoking, just that whole not looking eating noodles. If it wasn't noodles, it was fast food. It was cigarettes. And I wasn't looking after myself. Long story short, I had a little episode where I had chest pain.
Wow.
And I was like, man, I'm 20. What's going on? I'm going to go to doctors to get these checked out. And the doctor basically said, did a blood test and all this stuff. You're not healthy. You need to start looking after yourself. I had zero knowledge on health and fitness. So I basically started getting into it because I was like, I don't want to die young, right? So I had that fear. Anyway, so I started just running as much as I could. I was like, every night I'm going to go run around the block like 2 or 3 times, and I'm going to try and eat healthy. So back then, healthy for me was like yogurt, fruit, chicken salad rolls, avoiding fast food.
Tuna out of a can.
Right. Like, well, probably wasn't that hardcore yet.
Okay, you went hardcore.
But I was doing that, and I figured if I eat better than I was and run around the block twice every night, by the end of the week, I'd have eaten healthy and I'd have run 14 times around the block. That's like a mini marathon. Surely I'm going to like improve my health. And it did. It helped improve my health. I got leaner. And then I went from that to, it just snowballed into, you know, I'd buy a Men's Health magazine, and then I'd get into it even more. And then I started going to the gym, not knowing what on earth I was doing. Went to the gym. Oh, you know what? These Men's Health magazines are great. But then I started buying Muscle and Fitness, and it went to Flex. And I just got more hardcore, and I started falling in love with bodybuilding. Yeah. And I had like boxes of MD magazine, Muscular Development magazine, right? So heaps and heaps. And I was just full into it. So that's how I got into training. And then around 2008...
did you have an iconic bodybuilder that was looking? Who was on your radar then? Because like back in my time, so it was Lee Haney. Then came, you know, Dorian Yates, and then it was like the Flex Wheelers, and it was
Lee Priest.
Yes, of course, Dexter Jackson, and it was, you know, Kevin Levrone.
Yep.
And those kind of guys. Who was it with you guys in 2000? Because I know then it was Chris Cormier's and things like that going on around there.
Yeah. So, I mean, back then...
Who was a standout to you then?
It was definitely still... Obviously, Ronnie was like the king,
course.
You know? And with that era, there was Kevin and Flex and Lee Priest, and I was full into that. Because, like I said, I was buying Muscular Development. Like, that's the hardcore of you know what I mean? So, and I remember at the time buying... In 2006... I'd already been training for a few years, was already into bodybuilding by then. I remember I was going to Thailand with the boys for a trip, and I bought a magazine at the airport, and it was Flex magazine, and it had Phil Heath on the cover. I think that was his first, I could be wrong, that was his first cover. He was in a sprinter's position. Yep. Looked insane. And I was like, who's this new guy?
And those eyes on him.
Oh, yeah. And he had like blue or green eyes.
Yeah, he looked like a panther.
It was crazy. And I was like, I bought this magazine and I brought it around Asia and Thailand with me, and I read it on the toilet and on the plane and everything. And I was like, this guy's going to become Mr. Olympia. I hate to be one of those guys that said, I called it. Yeah. But I saw him, and you can see his insertions, his muscle bellies. And I was like, this guy looks crazy. Right. And then I was like, just full obsessed with Phil Heath for a couple of years. I was like, this guy's insane. Yeah. So that was back in 2006, 2007. And then, from then, I in 2008, 2009, I met a girl, fell in love. She broke my heart. Long story short, typical, you know, heartbreak turned into a bodybuilder story.
Right.
And I came out the shitty end, and I was like, what am I going to do? And I was bedridden for a couple of months. And then I was like, I woke up one day and I was like, you know what, man, I'm just going to get absolutely shredded. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. Whether it was to prove her wrong or make myself feel better or to get laid by other chicks, whatever it was at the time, to just make myself feel better about myself. I was like, man, I'm going to get back into what I already know, because I stopped training for a while.
So when you met this girl, which was 2006?
No, this was 2009.
Sorry. And then so you... Like I said, you stopped training, fell in love, the lovey-dove stuff, and then brokenhearted. And then when you say, you know, kind of shut down emotions, and then you said, right, what am I going to do about it? Yeah. Where most would hit the grog, or most would be doing more, and you probably did.
I did do that.
Yeah, you probably did do that. We all seem to do that. But then, so you went back, took time off, jumped back into it.
Got in the best shape of my life. I remember suffering hard to get in, because I was like, no, I'm going to get leaner. I'm going to get leaner. And I was absolutely shredded. And then I remember at one point, I was in decent shape, going to the gym, but I'd see her there because she went to that gym. And I just, before then, part of me was like, I'm going to go to the gym because she'll see me and I'll see her, whatever.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
And then I got to the point where I was like, nah, like she's bad. I need to get away from her. And I was training by myself. So I was like, I need to get away from her. I need to go to another gym. And you know what, man? I need to hang out with some other guys that are, you know, like...
In similar
shape. Right?
Can I ask quickly, when you got yourself into shape,
yep.
did you like for me, I remember when I got super ripped, like shredded. Sometimes you can get into kind of that body dysmorphia mind, and it gets close to anorexia sometimes. Did you find there was a fine line trying to get ripped up as well, or you had it under control?
I mean, yeah, you can't deny that body dysmorphia is a part of some. As soon as you get bitten by the bodybuilding bug,
It's a part of you.
good luck, man. Enjoy the body dysmorphia for the rest. Because it happened, like, even at 43, I'm still looking in the mirror going,
Fuck
"Man,
off, I know.
yeah, nah, that's missing. Or it's
What
not good
happened
enough."
this
Yeah.
morning?
And then
What happened
meanwhile-
yesterday?
Right.
I wish I didn't see the mirror today.
It changes, and then it just wrecks your mind. But
It does wreck your mind.
yeah, I definitely remember suffering to get to that point, like
Yeah,
I've
you
never
do.
suffered before.
Yeah.
And getting in amazing shape and saying, I need to get away from going to this
and
gym.
Find some people.
So it's almost like the heavens above like answered that call, because I met Zyzz and that circle, and I started training at his gym, and it just went from there.
When you talk about his gym, it's where he trained?
Yeah,
Which gym was that?
Carlingford Fitness First.
Carlingford Fitness First.
Yep.
So how did it... So you get away from her,
Yep.
find like-minded guys. What was it about them being like-minded? And before you know everything's happening, is it the aesthetic? Is it the attitude? Is it the area? What is it exactly that kind of drew you in, or the broship? Because I too, I started training in the early 90s, late 89, and what I found was we didn't know a lot on how to train, but we learned to train through the brohood inside the gym, because someone would watch someone, and we'd learn, hey, I've got another bicep exercise we can do. And you go, show me, where did you learn this one from, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we were reading magazines so much back then, right? And then it became bros spotting each other, because we didn't, like I said, there wasn't the phones, there wasn't anything going on, so we'd just sit there and spot each other. So what was it that resonated you to them, and what was the bond forming? What did you see?
It was definitely some of that thrown in as well, but I think for the most part, it was the values.
Okay.
Multiple values aligned. We want to get in shape and look aesthetic. We want to get girls. We want to party. We want to feel confident in ourselves. And I didn't have that leading up until that. I was training by myself.
Just training to
Training. Everything I knew about training came from magazines, because I was reading a lot of magazines, but internet wasn't big back then. 2009, yeah, it was there. There was forums were going off, but I learned a lot of my training from magazines, and it was literally I didn't know anything about progressive overload, didn't know anything about counting macros. It was go to the gym, do this exercise as heavy as you can, leave a puddle of sweat on the floor, and then move on to the next exercise. And that was it. And with these guys, I found we aligned with multiple values, and I was looking for this. Like, this is my place, right now. This is where I belong.
And all right, so I guess you meet. What are the early days like together? Like, I mean, did you know that this group, this environment was going to become something bigger than you thought, and also you being a part of it? Besides wanting, I get it, you want to be lean on the beach, you want the girls to look at you, you want to talk to the girls, you want to go party and everything that goes on with partying, you know what I'm trying to say? But not everyone, I guess what I'm trying to say is, how did because like I said, there's a lot we want to talk about, but get in a little bit early, and how did the Zyzz phenomena happen? How did we know, or how did you know it was him and not Seth and not you and not somebody else? Was it him? He had that bright light about him? Because, like I said to you, I had a friend in America point that out. Chris knows him. I don't. I know him now, and I find out. And it's just the name is mentioned now through some great bodybuilders today who, and I look at him and I go, wow, like it kind of reminds me of Frank Zane. Who wasn't the biggest guy, but aesthetically beautiful. And there was something about him, and everyone keeps bringing up Frank Zane. Frank Zane is the best physique, and they keep bringing up Zyzz as being the best physique. He wasn't the biggest. He wasn't any, what I'm trying to say, but there was something. And yeah, what was it? Did you know? When did you know this was getting big, or when did you know, or was it from day dot?
He was already, but by the time I met him, he was already peaked. Like quite popular in the bodybuilding culture, like forums,
Yep.
and in that subculture. He was already quite big online.
How did he become that?
I think he hit a lot of nails on the head. His transformation, I think a lot of people related to it because he was the skinny guy that got picked on and then got heartbroken and then got super aesthetic. And when people see that story, especially back then when forums,
You mentioned that story.
right? Forums was where a lot of people hung out.
Yep.
And they looked at his story, looked at his transformation, and they related to it a lot. There was that, you know what I mean? And for me, I feel like, I mean, how do you explain what it was about him? It's almost like, how do you explain charisma? Like, what's charisma? What's the definition of charisma when someone has charisma? Maybe it's the way they talk. Maybe it's the things that they say. Maybe it's the way that they carry themselves, but they're almost magnetic. Because
I think
what makes,
charisma.
what's the difference between, okay, how do you explain the difference between personalities in Lou Ferrigno and Arnold Schwarzenegger? Because they both have great physiques, not identical, but similar and pros and cons. But why is Arnold so much more charismatic than Lou?
Do you think there's like and dislike comes together?
In what ways?
They either like you or they don't, and the two are battling with each other, and sometimes you dislike some, but you just can't get away from them because their attention, you grab their attention gets taken over. Like what I'm saying is, you can either be loved, and people work down towards just being liked, and then there's villains, but there's something in the middle, charisma, where I don't know about this guy. There's something I like about him and something I don't like about him. So there's a battle between the two, and maybe that's what it is. Like with Arnold as well. Like, I don't know. What do you think?
I think the charisma played a massive part.
Yeah.
He was magnetic. Full stop. Okay. Whether you're a guy or a girl. If you're a girl, you wanted to be on his arm. If you're a guy, you wanted to have his physique or hang around him or be associated with him, especially if you're in the bodybuilding space.
Was it like that in person
absolutely.
too?
Like when he died, I feel like he was the glue of the group.
Really?
Right. So, and also the like and dislike thing. I mean, if you're polarizing, which he was at the time,
that's what I'm saying.
You're going to draw everyone's attention.
That's what I'm saying.
And regardless if it's like or a dislike, back then with internet culture blowing up, like or disliked, if you got attention, it was a good thing.
That's what
because even the people that didn't like you would talk shit about you on the photos, and that would draw more attention from the algorithm.
It's happening now.
And then they'd go tell people, fucking look at this douchebag. And then they'd share it with other people. They might share it with 5 people, but if one of those 5 people likes you, you're still winning. You're growing. You know what I mean? So I think that's what happened there as well. Because I agree. Like, I can see everyone's point of view where people look at him and go, "This is not my cup of tea," and they don't say it in such nice words.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah, like I said, I like I said to you, when I look at like Frank Zane's body, and I've had him on the podcast, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very, very, very fortunate. I can see the beauty, but I know when I think about the guys that he competed against, I go, how? Like, I think, but he wasn't the biggest guy, and I'm sure when he was ripped, I don't know, what did he even his how many? Well, that's pounds. He was small, like he was tall, but
He wasn't a big dude.
he wasn't a big dude. And same thing when I look at Zyzz, I go, what is it that they say about this guy? Because there's a bodybuilder, but not the biggest bodybuilder in body parts, but some aesthetics. But I kind of wonder. So, So obviously, as you came along, he was already polarizing.
Yeah.
Was it growing from even bigger? Like I could see there's pictures of you guys in, I think, lifts or in the bathrooms and posing. How did you take a bit of the notoriety going on, or was there nothing going on? Like, I mean, it was about the group as well, wasn't it, a bit?
Yeah, it was. I feel like I just got pulled along for the ride.
Yep.
At the time, like I said, I don't know if lonely was the word, but I did feel like I needed to hang out with guys that had like-minded values and like that. So to me, I got pulled in. I went along for the ride. The novelty of being kind of popular was great for a bit, but that novelty kind of wears off real quick because it's cool when it's like, oh my God, like we're walking down the street on King's Cross and people are asking for photos and they want photos of me as well. That was cool for a bit, but then it kind of wore off for me anyway. And then it got to the point where it was kind of something we weren't looking forward to, like having to go to a festival just to enjoy ourselves, but we can't because this guy's getting stopped every 5 seconds. You know what I mean? We can't enjoy ourselves, and then
because you guys liked the party scene, didn't you?
Yeah,
you liked dancing.
Yeah.
I guess I can be open. I mean, I remember back in the 90s, there wasn't there was a bit of, it was a lot smaller, but there was a gym culture that we were it wasn't about the stage. It was about aesthetics.
Yeah.
It was about, the short shorts with the teardrop showing on your knees there. And we used to wax our bodies. And I remember going to the Gold Coast and just, that was the competition to turn up my best. And it was just literally eckies every night.
Yeah.
Partying, because we just knew alcohol wasn't good.
Yeah.
But we thought eckies was better because we stayed leaner. You know?
Don't eat anything for 2 days or any water. You get pretty dry.
And you also knew, do not have a steak Diane before taking an eckie. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You got to sit there and have your carbs 24 hours before. Oh God, it was like a mathematical science, wasn't it?
Right. It was like, it's not on the same level as competing for a show, but you are ticking some of the boxes, right?
Yeah,
for just like, I've got a date, I've got a deadline, I want to look as best I can. What kind of things can I do to kind of peak, so to speak, for this festival or for this event or whatever? Where I think, the whole bodybuilding lifestyle, I know a lot of bodybuilders are very protective of the sport, which I understand, where they say you're not a real bodybuilder unless you're competing. Which is, I kind of see their point of view because they're protective. But at the same time, do you not want more people to live the bodybuilding lifestyle, even if they don't compete? Which means they're getting in shape for an event, whether it's a party or a festival or their wedding or a birthday, and they better themselves and they're, getting into the bodybuilding space because now, the bodybuilding as a whole is growing because you've got them buying supplements now. So they're coming into your space and bringing disposable income. They might even want to compete. So now we've got categories growing like men's physique and classic and women's sprouting into all these different categories. So, and I only say this because I just know, and I've seen interviews where bodybuilders are protective of the sport and they say, you're not a real bodybuilder and da-da-da and this, that, and people are coming into the space and doing that. But I think it's a good thing that people are coming into the sport and or the space and growing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, so I'm assuming you haven't competed?
No, never.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
So just to let you know. But have I had a competitive body? I bet you've had a competitive body. I bet if you knew or that was your journey and you wanted stage, you were probably already primed for it, but you primed yourself for summer. You primed yourself for an event. You primed yourself for turning a certain age.
Yeah.
For me, every decade, so turning 30, turning 40, and turning 50, I was ripped, sized. My first cycle, I took a cycle, right? And it was at 49. At 49, I decided to take steroids at 49.
Okay.
So I decided to dabble in that. I did 2 cycles on it, and I loved it, but I haven't touched it since because I realized I was already eating well. I could do it. I probably wasn't doing it good enough. Like I could do it better if I'm going to be injecting myself, which again, will I take another cycle? Possibly. When? I don't know yet. But what I do know is that I'm more so thinking, God, I just got to get in the gym and train better. I got to eat better. I got to do everything better and get back to that mindset of turning up my best shape. I guess December. I guess it's what is it? No, December the 1st, which is the first day of summer. That's when I want to be looking my best. When I'm wearing my least clothing, it still kind of sits the same way. But I find that this is what I found. I found the stage does not make you really. I know it's going to sound a bodybuilder, and people are going to debate this, argue this point, and I'll tell you why. Because back when in the 90s, when I saw bodybuilders on stage, trust me, they were bodybuilders because I trained next to them and I wanted to be like them, and we relatively close to look the same aesthetically. They took it to another level to get on stage, and we sat in the shows and we wanted to watch them. I didn't want to be on stage, but I wanted to be a bodybuilder. So I'd turn up to the shows and I'd watch them and, cheer them on, whatever the case may be. But see, today, the stage is IG, Instagram. It's profiling. It's going to get me clients to personally train them. It's going to grow my followers. It's a pageant. It's become a pageant. So in other words, maybe you, don't know, but me, I can't go in a most handsome guy competition. I can't. I'm not going to win.
I'm with you, man. Don't worry.
But in a bodybuilding show, I can enter even if I'm not in shape. It's my fault. I'll come last, but they'll allow me to get on stage. But other federations or other competitions around the world don't let you get on stage if you don't sit a certain criteria. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this bodybuilding has become the newest pageant you can ever have. And I get it and I like it. Good on you. But to me, bodybuilding is the road, is the journey, and competitions is just a destination. You just put the indicator on, you go over, do a show. Sometimes those people that do shows don't come back to the
lifestyle.
Don't come back to the show. Don't come back to the journey.
Yeah.
The journey is bodybuilding. The gym is it. Dieting is it. All right, taking cycles is it. I don't know, whatever. Supplementation is it. But you can go do a show, and you can do a show at 25 years old. You can do a show at 26 years old. You can do a show at 27 years old. And then when you're 46 and you've never done a show again, then you didn't really love bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I and you, we just turn up like brushing our teeth.
Yeah.
And then we start understanding how much it's part of our lives and how much it plays on our mind, and it gives us an edge that if we don't have it, I don't feel I'm the greatest dad. I don't feel like I'm the greatest husband. I don't feel like I'm the greatest coach. So it's not the stage that I need. It's kind of like I need to turn up to this gym because it just gives me that little bit of an edge. And that's how I see bodybuilding. I see bodybuilding as what it was before, and that was picking up dumbbells, picking up barbells, going to the gym. To me, the stage is good, but it's fleeting. It's fleeting. And as well, I'm again, people can listen to this and it's not. I know people when I was 25 and they were beasts. They were beasts. I was there with them and I'm going, this guy's a fucking beast. I'm like a wimp next to him. Well, I see him now at 57 and I'm wondering, did you ever compete? And fuck, you were on cycles too?
Yeah.
Because they got into lifestyle of drinking, smoking, and it wasn't something they loved and jumped into it. So like I said, I think to me, bodybuilding is every day, is
It's
gym.
a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It
I
is a
actually
lifestyle.
agree with everything you just said there, Sam.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because
So when they tell me, when they say bodybuilding is the stage, mate, if you've hooked onto that, let me see you do decades.
Yeah.
And the guys that have done decades and are doing decades, then I know you
Hats
are a
off to 'em.
bodybuilder.
Yeah,
hats off to it, man. You were going to say?
Yeah, I agree. And I'll preface it by saying, because I know this is the muscle podcast and you've spoken to some heavy duty bodybuilders, and maybe there was that fear inside of me that's like, do I belong in this chair? Am I a bodybuilder? And it's like, well, you're right. Some people compete once in their 20s and go hardcore, but then not into the lifestyle anymore. If they're not on cycle, they're not going to the gym.
Yeah.
Or they're not living the lifestyle. And that, to
100%.
them, it's like, are you a bodybuilder or did you just love the gear?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whereas, I've been training since I was like 20, 21. So if I'm 43 now, that's like 20 years. And I'm not going to bullshit and be like, I think a lot of people say like, I've been training since I was 15. It's like, how many people do you know that have been bodybuilding since 15? Like actual bodybuilding. I think they're counting is just playing sports, maybe. I don't know.
Look, maybe a few dumbbells in the garage.
Yeah.
I get it
But
too.
like seriously training and living that lifestyle consistently. So like more on than off is where I count it. Because I went to the gym when I was 18 too at school and I had no idea what I was doing and I walked out after 5 minutes, but I'm not counting that. I'm going to count since the day that I decided I'm going to go to the gym and start lifting weights because these bodybuilding magazines are cool. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like bodybuilding for me started, I guess, around when I finished school, 18, 19, but I walked in a gym and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And this was a real small gym. Like it was literally the size of a living room, right? This guy had it. He did a membership. I don't know what it was, $2. Who knows what it was. But, and the funniest thing was, even back then, while I was training there for a couple of years, we were turning up with our Suzuki GSXR 750 slingshots. Everyone was buying motorcycles. All our
you had the bikes. I saw that on your IG. I was into bikes at one point as well.
Yeah, we'd rock up like, and for me as well, some of the posters I had in my room and bodybuilding for me was the guy with the, like I said, great body on this Harley Davidson with this beautiful brunette or blonde behind him. I said, that's
the life that you want.
There's the triangle I need. I need the body, the bike, and the chick. And I think foolishly maybe, but that's what we kind of work towards. But, it was the late nights eating, going down the cross, and there was the steakhouse. And it was like a $12 steak at midnight because we're bodybuilders. I think everything we did, we just kind of... And there was a period as well, like, yourself, when you get into the family life and you probably take... In your each decade, you've realized, oh my God, I've really been wasting my time. I haven't been training well. And also there's times when you've not turned up for 2 years. But as soon as you get back and you touch that weight again, you go, what have I been doing? What have I been missing? And then you get back into it and you start knowing this is bodybuilding. Like not stage, not anybody else, not even the magazine, just know bodybuilding. And I also found that for me, even this week, even last week, I discover new things, or I discover complacency. Like I think, you're right. I forgot about, eccentric and this and that, or I forgot about, fueling up before the gym, or I forgot about this, or I forgot about that. Somehow we get complacent in there, and then you discover something new, or you go back to something old. I think there's always reinventing inside the gym. Don't you think so?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's never been, like, I've never taken time off the gym for a long period of time. I think a few months at best. But I have kept going to the gym and kept training, but it wasn't, how do I explain? It was almost like I was just going through the motion because I had so much going on at the time.
Yeah.
But I was just so used to waking up, hitting the gym, coming home, and then starting my day that I would just do it out of second nature. But I wasn't training to my full capacity. I was just doing the motion, and then I'd go home and I'd forget to take my shake, or I'm not counting my macros today. I'm not calculating how much protein. So I'm not having as much protein as I usually do. Then my body starts changing. I'm still consciously going to the gym and consciously doing the things that I usually do, but it's not 100% effort, because that effort is now going somewhere else. Because either my wife just gave birth and I've got a baby, or I just got a new job and I need to focus on that. And for a few months, the bodybuilding lifestyle, it's there, but it's just kind of not as focused on, if that makes sense.
Well, I think we park it. We just go, I've got to park it for a moment. I've got a business, and don't want to change. I want to get into that story with you. I remember buying into a business. I got a juice bar, Celebrate, back in 2000 in the city. It looked like a Boost juice, right? And while building it for the first 2 or 3 years, I wasn't going to the gym, but I had to, and I knew a few things I had to give up, right? But as soon as I got a moment that I could go again, I was so happy to be back.
Yeah, and it's like,
you have to make sacrifices.
Or like you said, you refine something that you were doing before, but you haven't been doing. Like I have. Oh, usually I lift heavier on this set, but why have I been going lighter? And I've been doing it for a while. Now I'm going heavy again. I'm getting that pump again, and it's now I remember why I love the gym.
Exactly.
I've been going to the gym for the last 6 months, but it hasn't been to this intensity, or I haven't done this exercise for a while, and I forgot how much I loved it, or I haven't been eating properly. Let me eat properly for another 2 weeks, and then my body's going back to where it was before. Like you rediscover the love of why you fell in love with this lifestyle to begin with. And yeah, you're right. Like I feel like life, it's like, especially now at this age, more responsibility, more things to focus on, and you've only got so much focus during the day that you can allocate to things. And you can have a business, and then you've got a partner, and then you've got kids. And then you might have a side thing, like a side hustle. And then you've got your own health and training. And then you've got your rest and recovery. And then you've got time with your mates. And it's like you're allocating time every day and energy and effort to all these things. If one thing starts taking more focus, that comes from somewhere else in your life. So, when people, guys or whatever, just have a kid, the energy goes towards the kid. So some of it comes away from work. It comes away from your sleep. It comes away from the gym. Something else in your life loses that focus and it goes a little bit towards the baby now. And it can happen with anything. You just got a new job or you just started a new business. And I think now more than ever, I've realized being okay with that, because when that would happen back, in my 20s or 30s, where something would happen and it would take my focus and then it would draw away from my sleep or my gym, I'd freak out. Like, oh man, I'm like falling down and I'm losing myself and I'm not keeping up with life. I think at my age now, accepting that that's okay and it's only temporary and it's for a good reason is one thing. And also knowing that every day is a balance of that effort. Like, how do I allocate effort and time and energy to myself, which is the gym, and then also to my wife, and then also to the kids, and then also to my career or my business, and keep everything in a nice balance so it's all cruising. That's the tough thing. And I'm sure a lot of guys that are listening kind of can relate to that, because it really is like in your 20s, you've got all the time in the world and no responsibilities. It's great, but life, as you level up, life will challenge you with those things.
I think, yeah, but I found that to be honest, there's one thing that I'm not going to give up for nobody, and that, truth be told, the gym. Why? Because it's a sanctuary. I need it. It's good for everyone around me, and it's good for me. And even if it means I have to find the time because I want to make time with somebody or want to make time for my kids or my family, cool. But what I've realized is the more you give up on yourself, the more you hand over everything to others, in the end, you're left with nothing. And there's kind of like a little bit of a play I put in my mind. When they first meet you or when they get to know you, or you being a dad, you're kind of like Superman, right? But then when you start giving up everything, handing things over to everyone and others, you become Clark Kent. And then they don't like Clark Kent. And then they start looking for Superman again. What happened to Superman? So it's kind of like, for me, I've learned that when they meet you and when they're in your lives, they know you for who you are now. And if it's gym culture, eating healthy, you like doing business, maybe, whatever it is. Like for me, there's a few, places that I just won't give up. And one of the things is, one, the gym. I don't care. It comes along with me. That's what we do. Eating predominantly healthy. Predominantly healthy. When I say predominantly, I will never tell anyone that cooked me a meal, what is that? I'll eat it. Because you gave me a gift. I've got food in front of me and I know it's got some good stuff in it. Yeah. I know. I'll find it anyway. Yeah. I'll find the good stuff in it through my meditation. But at the same time, I won't be subject to completely giving up on myself. But like I said, most people around us choose us for the values we have or the things we do in our lives. But somehow we think we've got to give it up to get closer to them, or that's what they want.
For me, it's a part of the package for me.
Yeah.
Like my wife, I back in the days, I dated girls when, I was like, I'm going to the gym. She goes, I'll come over tonight after work. Yeah, I'll come over after work. Let me finish up. I'll hit the gym and then I'll come past. She goes, hit the gym. You went to the gym yesterday. Yes. And that was like a no-go for me. Like it's part of the package. Like I train 5-6 days a week. Yeah. And that's, so like I said, I'm not coming over. I'm coming over after I hit the gym. Yeah. So my wife, she lived the lifestyle. She actually competed. So she's done some things in the space that I haven't even done. So when I met her, she was competing. And our first date was, she was so hesitant to go with me because she was dieting that we went and had a black coffee with no sugar. And then we spent the rest of the night in Parramatta sitting on a park bench talking about supplements and bodybuilding and stuff like that.
She was talking your language.
Absolutely. I put a ring on it not long after that. No, but it's part of the package for me. I believe, I agree with you in that you're not going to be your best self if you haven't filled your own cup up first. 100%. And for me, that's, being my best version of myself every day. What are you putting in? What are you depositing every day into the bank of you? You know what I mean? Is it having a good meal and then getting a good training session in, get your exercise in, and then now I'm the best version of myself for the rest of the day, and you guys get to benefit off that? Yeah. Or if I didn't get my training session in and I missed it and I'm grumpy now and all that. So I absolutely believe that if it's part of the package that comes with you, and people should accept you for that. And naturally, people that don't like that will move away from you, and people that also have that value will gravitate towards you. So it's like a built-in filter. You know what I mean? So you meet someone for the first time, like you said, and you say, hey, I enjoy training 5 days a week. They're either going to go, ugh, weirdo, like this bro lives in the gym, and they're not going to hang out with you. Cool. Or they're going to go, no way, what's your split like? And it's that filter now where, okay, we have the same value, because I get how some people see bodybuilding or training and that lifestyle and think it's very, what's the word? It's very vain. And I get that. I try and see every perspective. I can see that. But it's also self-care. And I respect people that have self-care and that look after themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's part of the package.
No, I believe bodybuilding's vanity, man.
Yeah.
I believe bodybuilding's ego. I don't give a fuck. Like, and, I've seen it, like, I fucking hate wearing any piece of clothing if I haven't done the work underneath it. I don't care what it is. And I've had my moments where I've been overweight. Trust me, once a few years in my 40s, a few years in my 50s, even over when I got shredded at 50. Somehow you just get caught up with people, get caught up with lifestyle, get caught up with the rat race in the sense of, you know, I don't know, escaping. And even sometimes we're hard on ourselves. I am too disciplined. Oh my God, I am too methodical. Oh, I am boring. Yeah, okay, let's go. Let's open up that scotch and drink it. And let's get that pizza and let's do this. And let's fucking sleep in and have sex and whatever it is, or do drugs, whatever. The thing is, in the end, you look at yourself in the mirror and that's when the worst body dysmorphia hits you, and you go, and then you realize the hard work back. Yeah. And you go, all right, this is not 3 months. This is the whole fucking year. We're going to be chipping away slowly to get back.
That's the thing, though. I think people, and they hear the word balance gets thrown around the fitness space like all the time. I think, and it's subjective, because like balance for me might be different to balance to someone that's overweight. You know what I mean? People can really distort what balance is. Balance, I believe, balance should be, for the most part, you're healthy, you eat right, and you exercise. And then maybe every now and again sprinkled in, you have the macas with the kids, you eat the ice cream with the missus, you have the scotch with the boys, and you order a pizza.
100%.
But that's the last 10%. For the most part, it should be looking after yourself, self-care. And I think a lot of guys get that wrong because they see a healthy, fit guy eating macas. They go, well, this guy eats macas. Like, maybe it's okay if I eat macas. And then they start eating macas 3, 4, 5 times a week when this guy could be eating it once a month. And they don't see that context. So now their perception of balance is distorted, which I think is sad these days, because there's a lot of, I think the problem out there with guys, and nowadays, as you probably know, like testosterone levels in guys is plummeting compared to 30, 40 years ago. Back in the 60s, 70s, testosterone levels was at a healthy range. Now it's like plummeting over the last few decades to what we've got today. And I don't want to get too political.
No, we can get political, and because we'll go to that.
Yeah.
I'm going to tie off a few things. One, what I realised, and this is back when I used to work for corporate, when I used to work for HSBC, I was just a network engineer for them.
Yep.
And some of the guys there, and it was back in the 90s, the gym was, we didn't have accountants in there. We didn't have doctors in there. We didn't have lawyers in there. It was fucking kids, guys that wanted to, bit of riffraff, stop being on the street. You know, like I said, we like cars, motorcycles, whatever it was, bros. But meatheads, you know what I mean? I used to tell people, if you don't know how to eat well Monday to Friday, you're fucked on the weekend. So I used to know that Monday to Friday, I was in control. So I was in control Monday to Friday. So Monday to Friday, I would be
Structured.
It was structured like, and I didn't do meal prep because we didn't know what Tupperware was to bring in with us. So I'd go down to the Chinese place downstairs and go. She goes, "Oh, Steve, boiled rice." Go, "Give me a boiled rice," and then I'd bring cans of tuna in, and I'd eat a couple of rows of the boiled rice on top. Throw the tuna on, mix it up with the oil because I liked it with the oil, the John West one. And I'd sit there and even at night I would cook well. But when it came to the weekend, I was already in good position.
Yeah.
And sometimes the weekend would be still healthy maybe. But if it was a mate's place and he put on a barbie and everyone's cooking, or we're going to have some drinks, I was okay, because out of 7 days, the 5.5 days of it, I was ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people. If you can't manage your Monday to Friday, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because on the weekends, you just don't want to be the sourpuss kind of guy, or you turn up with your Tupperware container, or unless you're going for comp prep, I get it. But what I'm trying to say to you is, I can work out when I go to a barbecue and they've got fried rice and they've got cheese patties over there and the sausages here and then the steaks are here, and we're cooking, and the guy goes, "What do you want to drink?" And I know, I kind of work out, well, if I go, "What beers do you have?" If he goes, "I've got a Heineken," I go, "God, I like Heineken. It's got 3 ingredients in it." Little do they know. I go, "I'll grab a Heineken."
Yeah.
And I'll smack a Heineken, or they go, "What do you want to drink?" I go, and they go, "We've got vodka." I go, "Hey, I'll do me a straight vodka with ice." like I don't want to sit there and say to them anything really and talk about food. They seem to want to talk about food. And most of the guys around you start talking about their bellies. Oh, mate, I should start losing weight. And you want to tell them it's not today, mate.
Yeah.
It's what you do Monday to Friday. Yeah. And I'm just prepared for today. You're just not prepared. And that's what I find. I find if you're not going to lock in Monday to Friday, when it's basically you're working, you're not socializing, it's your time. I think if you get that under control, then you're kind of allowed to relax on the weekend a bit. It's your call how far you want to relax, but it just doesn't make you so much of a party pooper. Because if you're living for the weekend to try to fix your diet, then you don't stand a chance.
You're doing it backwards.
So I want to talk about, like I said, with guys and testosterone and where we are today and steroids and et cetera, and because you train and so. But I want to know who was Phil Ray.
Phil Ray was my kind of kind of like my internet forum handle name,
right?
Because back then the internet forums, the bodybuilding forums were massive, a massive like cultural kind of group online.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where a lot of like younger bodybuilders kind of hung out and stuff like that. So if you had to have an internet handle name, and Phil Ray Ho was my internet handle name. And that originally came from, back in the early 2000s, I went to TAFE in Hornsby.
Yep.
And there was this guy there, I forgot his name, but he was a character. And every time I'd walk into class, because my full name's Phillip Raymond Host.
Yep.
I'd walk into class and he'd go, Phil Ray Ho! like I don't know, like some WWE wrestler like entrance or something. Phil Ray Ho! And it just kind of stuck. It was the first acronyms, it was the first syllables of my full name, Phil Ray Ho. And I just used that as like a nickname on the internet, and it just kind of, from that, evolved to Phil Ray. And then my mates would call me Phil Ray. It was like a short, I don't know, I guess. And it just kind of stuck. Nobody this day and age really calls me Phil Ray unless they're like a friend from back in the day and they've known me for a long time. But yeah, that's where that came from.
Hey guys, Nutrition Warehouse, your number one store for all your supplement needs. Visit in-store here in Australia or New Zealand, or go to nutritionwarehouse.com.au, or for our New Zealanders, go to nutritionwarehouse.co.nz, shop away, and at checkout, why not use discount code MTP15 to get 15% off all your orders. Yeah. And what happened, like, obviously, from what I read, he went to Thailand.
Yep.
It was August 2011, I think, or something like that. Is that right? I think
yes.
Like that, at the age of 22.
Correct.
Fuck! He seemed like so much older. It seemed like he lived a large life for a lot longer. I feel like I was shocked when I saw 22, and looking at him and wondering. It was like this guy was around for a decade. He's just a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
My daughter's 22.
Right.
She's in America at the moment trying to make a career out of her life. But 22, and me 22, I didn't have nothing between my ears.
I had no idea. Like at 22, I don't feel like my life even really started properly.
But this person or this guy just seemed like he had lived, and unfortunately he didn't. But what was that time like for you? And why do you think even today they still turn to him?
I think it's, simple fact is he built a legacy in that short time. It's not easy, but he managed to do it. And his goal was to always...
Did he have that goal to build a legacy?
I didn't ask him at the time. I was too busy living in it to
that's
know,
what I want to know.
But his thing was always to bring...
everyone wants to leave a legacy, and they never do really, but I'm just saying this person did.
We can talk about that too, but I feel like he built a legacy where he inspired so many people in that short amount of time and made such a big impact in the space that it's 15 years later and people are still talking about him. And we just wrapped up a film the other day that's going to be on Stan about him. Yeah. Right? So that's... Who in the fitness space, just the fitness space, has died, and 15 years later, people are still talking about him, right? Oh. And they're making films about him that's going to be on like TV, like broadcasting shows are funding these things and bankrolling them and then marketing them and putting, because they're still getting attention. Who in the fitness space? No one. Like, dude, Franco Columbu died not long ago.
Yeah.
It's almost like no one outside the space even knew who he was. And if you made a film now, would people be watching it?
That's right.
So, and I'm not putting down Franco.
No,
legend in the bodybuilding space, right?
Look, without
But I'm
sounding...
just talking about comparing the levels there of legacy.
If I said to my daughter, do you know Ronnie Coleman? She goes, who's that? But if I said to her, do you know Sam Sulik? She goes, yeah, I know Sam Sulik. I said, do you know C-Bum? Oh, yeah, I've heard of C-Bum. Like C-Bum, Sam Sulik, kind of, especially Sam Sulik, if you know what I'm trying to say. He kind of, I guess bodybuilding to become mainstream, you kind of got to be a little bit mainstream yourself. Like people can associate with you a bit. You're attainable, you're reachable, you're touchable in some way, which I think once you're complete extreme, well, you know, like, I don't know, famous certain cyclists, you know, or certain powerlifters or certain wrestlers. But when you're kind of playing in a mainstream area, I guess that's what resonated with him as well. And that's what gives you that notoriety, that fame.
Yeah. I mean, people don't have legacies left like this because they did nothing. So surely, like, and I'm trying to say from a perspective from someone looking in, like what made this guy so popular, which is what you asked me earlier. On top of his charisma and his transformation and his relatable story. On top of that, the fact that he inspired heaps of younger guys to want to get into the gym.
Yeah.
And really, use the internet, leverage the internet to its maximum capability back then, which was still unheard of. We hadn't really had like influencers.
Yeah.
Wasn't a thing back then.
No, influencers wasn't.
But he was making content to help other people, to entertain people. And that's what people do nowadays. But he was doing it like 15 years ago. Yeah. And I feel like that's what also helped him as well. But like I said, like he left a legacy that can't be changed now. It's concreted and it's permanent and you can't deny it. So love him or hate him, he left a legacy.
When it happened and you found out, how did it affect you? One, I can say, I know sadness. How did it affect you? Let me ask that. And did it seem like it was over? Like this thing that was happening with you guys, and did you think as well? Did you see it building again? Or did you think it was over? And so what happened with you?
I was absolutely shattered. I was in disbelief. And so there was that, and then it was for me this is the fork in the road now where I need to exit this lifestyle. And when I say lifestyle, this lifestyle of partying hard.
So partying hard was drugs, everything else going on.
Yeah, like just focusing on enjoying life with no repercussions.
Yep.
Drugs, partying, girls, that colorful lifestyle. Even when I was in it, I was subconsciously saying to myself, this can't last forever.
But you were young guys. I get it, man. I get it.
So you think you're invincible, but I was in my mid to late 20s at the time. And, there's always that milestone. I'll get my life together when I hit 30. You know what I mean? Back in the 20s, I remember thinking that, like, I'll do whatever I want in my 20s. In my 30s, I'll get my shit together. So I was already in my I was 27, 28. And I was already thinking to myself, like, I can't do this forever.
Okay.
I've got to settle down at one point and take things serious and stop doing this to myself. I was getting fucked up every weekend, right? And when he died, to me, it was like this is the point that I exit this lifestyle.
Wow.
And that 2011 was the last time I went to a music festival. And I didn't even take any drugs that time. I just went there and had a Red Bull.
Yeah. Was it different?
It was I was like, man, what am I doing?
I know. It's like going to a bar and getting
Was
water.
that me?
No,
sorry.
Me.
It's like going to a bar and getting a water, right?
Yeah.
So to me it was, I was absolutely devastated. I was in disbelief. I was like just torn. But at the same time, it was the moment for me that I knew that I got to stop living like this. Now it's time to move on to the next part of the evolution of me, whatever that is, and it's not this. So, yeah.
And how long did it take you to get over his passing?
I'm still not over it.
Really?
Like, you don't get over that stuff. It's like you lose someone close to you, you don't get over it. You just learn to deal with it better.
Wow.
Right? And you're trying, for me, I'm very reflective. Yeah. So I'm constantly trying to, and this tore me up for a long time. It's not until recently that I kind of had some type of closure with it.
What was that?
So I feel like this whole time, I'm always looking back at things in my life and going, what was that? What was the point of that? What is it? What did it teach me that is with me now? And I'm always like that. And with meeting him, I was like, what was the point of meeting him, becoming so close, and spending all this time together, and then him just getting snatched away? Like what? Something like that happened for a reason. Come on, universe, God, whatever. Someone answer me. And for years, it just gave me lots of, I don't know what the word is, angst. And I was just unsure because I felt like it was not settled yet, and it wasn't proper closure. And it's not until recently I really had closure, and I just accepted the fact that not everything in life has some amazing takeaway gift for you. Some things in life are like watching a sun rise and then watching it set. There's no amazing takeaway. You just enjoy it for what it is. And I see my time with Az back then as that. I just need to look back and enjoy it for what it was and meant a lot. It was a beautiful time of my life. And that's it. There doesn't need to be an amazing takeaway. Maybe there is. Maybe it's hold your friends closer. Maybe tell them that you love them. Maybe it's take more photos with them. Enjoy the time, whatever. But for me, it's just, it was an amazing time of my life that I enjoyed and I got to experience. And it's given me so many great things after that.
Yeah, I think because listening to that, like for me, it's funny. I would talk about getting over things or accepting things, or like I think of it kind of like the advice I would give if I was going to give some advice. Like, what did you learn from it? I don't know if it's about learning something, because I broke up with this girl and I kind of knew it kind of hurt me, but it was okay. I could go forward, could keep moving on. But I said to myself, I just want to continue loving her, even though she's not in my life, because I think I'm happy that way. So rather than trying to find out why did I like her or love her or I should hate her, I said, nah, she's not in my life. It doesn't matter, but I just want to keep it as a good thing. So I just said, so when I think about her, or if she comes up in my mind, I go, yeah, it's good. And that's all I say. It's good. And then I get back in my work, or I'm out riding my bike or taking my dogs for a walk at the gym. I don't want to sit there and dwell and wonder, and I don't want to find a reason to forget or a reason to move on. I just want to go, you know what? Yeah. You can come. At peace with it. Yeah, I'm at peace. Come along with me while you're not in my life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like maybe Zyzz comes along with you in your life, even though he's not in your life. You just got to come along. Yeah. Maybe he'll come along forever. Does that make sense? You don't have to let go. Just say, I love the guy, and I want to continue. And no one's going to take that away from me. And even him physically doesn't make it. He has to be physically here for me to continue loving him and continue having my friendship with him. So, bro, what are you doing? Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's say, I think that's what I find. I find that for me allows you to do the next step and the next step and not wonder or maybe work out things, especially when it comes to a relationship, because some people you don't just want to let go and some people you do, and some people have an effect on you. And I just found that rather than wrestling to hate them, wrestling to move on from them, wrestling to forget them, it's more like, no, you're coming along for the ride. We're going all the way. And you just prosper. You make success happen, and yeah, you might ponder and wonder and think about them, and that's how I think it's good to move forward. But you said something about men, boys, testosterone low. What is it, do you think? And I know that you're currently your life, currently you've got, what's your channel called again?
I've started a new Instagram just recently.
Yes.
It's Busy AF Dad.
Yeah, busy as fuck dad.
Yeah.
And I love your skits and I love what you're doing, and you got the guy next to you eating this and he's eating that, or training this way and training that. I'm doing all these things. But what's happening at the moment with guys, I guess, young guys, why are we losing testosterone? Why is the subject so large? is this a plot to destroy testosterone in us and take away the stoic man? Because a lot of their problems aren't problems, because we had problems, but we just didn't know. We just moved on. You were still in that era, I think, where, you know, my dad beat the shit out of me, but I wouldn't change it for the world. And I love him. And he wasn't my mentor, but I don't have to sit in front of a psychologist and talk about my dad. I have sat in front of a psychologist, don't you worry about that, about many things. But I don't really have a problem wondering, you know, I need to be like him or do anything different. But what is it about guys today and masculinity and low testosterone, which I think is a plot to weaken us, and why and also the fact is that they're turning to performance enhancing drugs, which in turn shuts off your testosterone. Doesn't anyone take seriously wanting to have a family? Doesn't anyone take seriously wanting to be the, you know, kind of like the protector of the family? Isn't it the responsibility? What's happening out there?
There's a lot to unpack with that though. So I'll start with why is testosterone plummeting in men compared to like 30, 40 years ago? I don't know. There's a multitude of things that could be. I'm not a scientist. I can only give my 2 cents, and that's exactly what it's worth, right? So is it because microplastics?
Okay.
Is it because we are becoming much more digital and guys are spending endless amounts of time working in front of a computer instead of doing a physical demanding job? Is it that? Is it because of something that they're putting in our food, right? Is it because of the political agendas that's going on, where masculinity is being labeled as negative, regardless of what it is? And if Andrew Tate says this, and then Andrew Tate is then toxic masculinity and all this stuff, and I feel like it's a multiple angle kind of attack that could be causing it. Is it an attack? I don't know. Or is it just things the way that the world's unfolding? I don't know. But it's no like surprise that our men's testosterone levels are lowering. So there's that. And the other part to unpack is why are men turning to performance enhancing drugs?
But so early, why does it? And then that's not even to go on stage. It's just to turn up to the gym.
Yeah. Man, it's such a broad like area to talk about because is when we talk about testosterone, is it because they want to blast and they're doing it for bodybuilding purposes? Or is it because they literally want to fix their lower testosterone and just get it back to a normal level? And then there's everything in between. So it's really this broad spectrum, and it's hard to take a stance and to put your feet somewhere, because then it's like, if I put my feet here, then these people are going to say, well, it's only because of this. If I put it here, then they're going to say it's only because of that. You know what I mean? So it's hard to put your feet down somewhere. So where I would... and then there's the fertility issue. Like people were thinking about having kids in the future.
Yeah.
Man, I think, okay, how do you unpack this? Let's start at the top end. I feel like guys that are blasting cycles, unless it's you want to be a professional bodybuilder, I really don't see the point, right?
No.
People can argue, well, I want to build a fitness coaching business, or I want to be a model and I want this certain look because then it puts food on my table. People can argue that as well. At the end of the day,
If it's a sponsorship that's going to get you there, something's going to get you there. Fair enough.
Right. And I'm the type of person that's open to any point of view because it's their point of view. They can have it. Whatever people choose to do with their body, they can do. And then there's the, like professional athlete. So if you're a professional footballer or whatever, or an MMA fighter, and your job puts food on the table and feeds your family, and if they want a performance enhance so they can be better at their job and get paid to support their family, that's another argument that can be made. And then it goes all the way down to guys that are doing it just to go, like that are blasting just to look good in summertime. Well, if it makes them feel better and it solves their problems that they feel like they have, then good for them. And then there's the guys that are on TRT because their test is low and they're taking enough just to feel normal.
Yeah.
Then I can see that argument as well. People don't really, there's no right or wrong, but where I find it gets a little bit slippery is that being a dad, like if my kids ever grow up and decide to do this stuff, they're doing it for the right reason. They're thinking about their future, because there are downfalls to blasting where guys are becoming infertile. I've never blasted.
You've been taking steroids?
I'm on TRT,
Okay.
but I've never blasted
Okay.
in the past.
How long have you been on TRT for?
May last year was when I started.
Okay. What made you just get on it?
That's a whole story. We can get into that.
No, finish what you're going to say.
Okay,
and then we'll get into that.
so this, I mean, and there's this big umbrella of testosterone and performance enhancing, and there's so many moving parts, and there's such a broad spectrum that it's, like I said, it's so easy to take a stance, but there's always someone that's going to say, well, you shouldn't land your feet there because of X, Y, Z. You shouldn't be blasting because it's bad for your health. You shouldn't be blasting because you're not going to have kids one day, or other kids think that it's okay to do it, and now you're encouraging all that stuff. So it's hard to land your feet anywhere, and it's, I have an opinion, and my opinion is the path that I chose, which was I didn't feel like I needed to blast. Look, and I've taken every recreational drug under the sun, and I had mates that were blasting, so I was obviously exposed, and I had no problem with it. I just never felt like I needed it. Plus, I did have that fear of not being able to have kids.
Yeah, I had that.
Right, that was a fear of mine, and that's the choice that guys make. They weigh up, like, oh well, some guys I can imagine will just be like, I'll worry about that later.
Yeah, but the thing is, I thought about kids, family, but also thought about my career, and bodybuilding didn't pass two of those things.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding came with career, bodybuilding came with my family, but bodybuilding wasn't going to surpass my career. My career was very important, so I was focused on growing a career.
Yeah.
And I was focused on, I guess, forming a relationship to find someone to have children with. Steroids and the gym come along with it. That's what I'm saying is it couldn't take preference because, it wasn't my pay packet. My work paid for my gym membership. So I had to focus on my career. So I'm wondering, how can these guys, not only with their gym memberships, but also spending so much money on buying cycles. They're not even cycles anymore. This is the thing. When I look back, when you hear the Ronnie Commons, Lee Priest and everybody else, do you know they predominantly took steroids just before a comp?
Yeah.
And when the comp was over, they never touched it.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's why someone said, who was it? They said that's why it's called the cycle.
Yeah.
You cycle in,
and you
cycle out. But now it's like nobody wants to cycle out. And young men taking TRT and overweight men and everybody men. I mean, I think there's a point where you want to be taking TRT, which you'll explain. But I think there's so many factors to fix your testosterone too, or to see if you can fix it, which is by getting your weight down, getting your heart rate down, getting your blood pressure down, getting your adrenals down, getting food down, stopping the alcohol. And then once you've exhausted that, take what you should take. Yeah,
and I agree, and that's pretty much my story. But before I get into that, I do want to highlight one thing, and that's on that documentary, Bigger, Stronger, Faster, Greg Valentino, the guy with the arms.
Yeah.
And look, whether you take advice from him is everybody can have their opinion on him as a character. But he said one thing that really stuck with me. And he said, and this is not verbatim, it's something along the lines of, there's a difference between a grown man taking steroids to perform better at his job as an athlete to bring the paycheck than a young kid who hasn't even got hairs on his balls wanted to take it for like vanity purposes.
100%.
And that stuck with me because it's like, it's not a one size fits all. And I agree with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you as a man, as a grown adult, perform for your job and it brings money home to feed your family and you want to perform better at your job, you make that decision. But an 18-year-old has no business like taking, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
So that's where I stand. My TRT journey goes like this. I'd never taken performance enhancing drugs. Actually, unless you want to count clenbuterol and fake GH that I used for like 2 weeks because I've got tendonitis and I dumbass thought, maybe if I get GH, and then I bought it for like $500 and my mate's like, dude, if you bought it for $500, that's not real.
Okay.
So I was like, well, okay, great. So I have dabbled with clenbuterol. Like I said, I'd taken every drugs under the recreational drug under the sun. And I had mates that took gears. So I was definitely exposed and didn't have a problem with taking it. But I just never felt like I needed it. I wasn't like, shorter bodybuilders put on tissue easier than our taller counterparts.
Little did I know, but yes, it's true.
Right?
I know, it's right.
So if Lee Priest gained 5 kilos, you'd see it in his physique.
100%.
If someone like, who's a tall bodybuilder?
Well, Lou Ferrigno was tall.
If
If
you-
it put on 5, you probably would see the difference.
Oh, you wouldn't. He'd take a shit and lose 5 kilos. You know what I mean? So there's that. So I, as a shorter guy, 5'6", man, I was like, I'd look in the mirror and go, man, size is not my problem. I want to get leaner. And to me, I looked at performance enhancing like gear and stuff, and I was like, that makes me bigger. I don't want to get any bigger. I'd be a cloud, and I don't want that look. I was like, I want to get leaner. I want to see like striations in my fucking cheek. So hence why I doubled with clenbuterol back in the day.
Yeah.
Anyways, fast forward, I when was this? I started getting symptoms around 2021 after I had my first kid.
Right.
And this is the thing. When I say I had symptoms, they crept in slow. When something creeps in slow and slowly creeps in, you don't notice it.
What was creeping in?
The first thing I noticed was I was getting sleep interruptions.
Right.
So I'd wake up. And this is after I had a kid.
Yep.
So you can imagine how this kind of blends in with having a newborn.
Yep.
If I said to you, I've got a newborn and I'm waking up at night and I'm getting bad sleep, you'd say, oh, bro, that's normal.
Yeah.
You got a kid, you got a baby. That's what happens. You sleep. So I started getting woken up multiple times a night. And because of that, I was always tired throughout the day. So there was those two things. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm tired today. I had a rough sleep. I've got a newborn. It's normal. I'll try and get a good sleep tomorrow night. And so maybe once a week I'd have a terrible sleep and be fatigued. But then it slowly crept into 2 times a week, 3 times. Over 3 or 4 years, right? I was like, I can't remember the last time I felt normal, like awake. I'm always tired. I haven't slept 7 hours straight for ages.
Yeah.
Forget it. I haven't even slept 5 hours straight. Like, this is, excuse my French, this is fucked.
You can swear,
I was like, fuck. I was like, man, I'm always tired. I'm always tired. And I was like, you know what? It's dad life. I got 2 kids. At this point, I had 2 kids.
Yeah.
2 kids. They're driving nuts. They're boys. They're full energetic. I'm not getting good sleep. Dad life, man. Push through. Anyways, fast forward. I started getting headaches a lot. And what also was so there was this waking up in the middle of the night, feeling fatigued throughout the day. Nothing excited me. Everything was a close second to having a good nap. Afternoon naps was an everyday occurrence for me, right? Then the headaches. So you can imagine as a guy walking around, always fucking tired, not excited to do anything, massive headache, right? Imagine what it's like to be around. I was a grumpy. Didn't want to do anything, didn't want to hang out with the kids, didn't want to go dates with the missus. I was like, fuck, nah. Wow. When are we getting home? Because I want to have a nap.
It's amazing you're still married.
Right. So there was that. And then on top of that, there was and this is secondary, because they were the main things, because they were affecting me as a person, that affects everybody else. The secondary things were my gym aggression was non-existent. Yeah. My pumps, non-existent. Right. I forgot what a good session felt like. Wow. And I was like, maybe it's because I need to take more pre-workout. And then I was like, well, maybe I need to take less pre-workout because I'm smashing it too hard. Maybe my adrenal glands are all fatigued. Let's lay off the pre-work. And it was just like, that was suffering. So therefore my body started changing as well. What was the biggest turning point for me was at the start of last year, 2025, in March, we had a Maldives trip lined up, me and my wife. Because long story short, we got married in 2019. We were supposed to go on our honeymoon to Maldives. COVID happened. We couldn't go. Okay. So it got postponed. 2 kids later. All these slow symptoms are kicking in. I'm brushing them off like they're nothing. It's just life now. Too bad. So sad. And then, so we go to this trip to Maldives, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go on this trip. I'm going to fucking do nothing the whole time. I'm going to sleep, rest, have a couple of drinks, have sex, get my wife pregnant because we were trying to have a third. And I'm just going to do nothing, and I'm going to come back fully refreshed. I'm going to be brand new me. This is the rest that I need. I did nothing but exactly what I just told you. Slept by the pool, cocktails, sex, relaxed. Crazy. It was best. Came home and I was still so fucking tired. And I still had all these issues like, dude, I'm talking about...
Was she pregnant?
She got pregnant.
I know, because you got 3 kids.
Okay. So, I came back and I was like, still getting massive headaches.
Wow.
Still super fatigued. Still sleep disruptions. Like, dude, I'd go to sleep at 9. I'd fall asleep, no problem. But on the dot, between 12 and 3, I'd wake up and I couldn't go back to sleep.
Wow, it's happening
Right?
to me right now when I think about it. But go ahead.
So I was like,
I think I should get my bloods done.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like something's up.
Yeah.
And it was lingering in my mind, like maybe it's your test. Maybe it's your test, like it's going down. And it kind of lingered, but I was like, no, I don't think so. Like I'm still healthy.
But you don't want to believe it too, do you?
You don't.
No,
you don't.
trust me. We live in denial with that one.
Right? And I was like, well, I still got a bit of muscle on me, and my wife's still getting pregnant.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting hard-ons. Another symptom was, and this is all secondary, these ones I'm mentioning after the fact. The secondary symptoms are not as important, but there were symptoms. Nighttime erections for me, like I hadn't had them in 5 years.
Wow.
But I didn't think of it as anything. I was like, whatever. Morning wood, hadn't had that in the 5 years, but I didn't think of it as anything.
If I start sweating and panicking, you know why. But go ahead.
That's right. I'll give you a jab after this and fix you up. Anyway, so I get back and I'm like, I've got all these symptoms. Some of them are big dog symptoms, like, okay, this is a big deal. The sleep one, the fatigue one, the headaches. The secondary ones were like, whatever, it's not important. But I said, man, I just did nothing for this trip. Something's up. I need to go to the doctors and get checked. Went to the doctors. I said, dude, you need to check blood test, check do something. Like I'm always tired. Like this is not normal. We would have to go groceries on a Sunday, for example. I'd be on the couch. My wife would be like, we're going to go to Coles. I'd need a fucking coffee to get off the couch and get there. We'd go grocery shopping. I'd need a coffee to get back home.
Wow.
Like I was living off caffeine. Anyways, go to the doctors, dude. Check my oil, man. Like she's not running right.
Was the doctor happy to check your oil? Was he debating you?
No, at first there was a bit of pushback.
Why?
Yeah, you tell me, man.
What is it about the fucking doctors?
I don't know, man.
My own cousin is a doctor and well-known doctor, Paponis, and I said, I want my testosterone checked. And he said, why? I said, what do you mean fucking why? And then I told him what I needed checked. And he kept asking me why. And I went, can't we just tick the boxes? Don't you don't need to know. Let's just tick the boxes.
Yeah.
Why did the doctors make it so hard for us?
I don't know. Maybe you should get a doctor on here and ask him because the only thing I can come up with is maybe there's like a legal.
I had Dr. Testosterone on from Athens. He's all for it.
So
he thinks all doctors are shit out there.
Yeah, well, he's on our side. So there was a bit of pushback, but I was adamant. He originally
people need to hear that your doctor's going to do pushback. You need to be adamant.
They will. Maybe there's a legal thing, and I'm sure there is, that they can't just give like these hormones out to anybody, which I get. But anyway, so originally he just did a normal blood test. And I came back and it's like, yeah, everything's fine. Like this. And I was like, did you do check tests and all that stuff?
He said no.
No, he didn't check
Fucking no. What did he check? Cholesterol, iron, all that
like he just did a basic panel.
Oh my God. That's what they do.
So usually, if the symptoms weren't that bad, I would have just brushed it off and said, all right, well, I'm okay. But it was that bad to the point where I pushed. I was like, no, you need to check because, dude, I can't keep, I'm going to go have a nap after this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired. I can't keep living like this because I can see how guys get depression because it's...
But things are changing now. Young doctors are starting to change.
TRT clinics popping up. They want to, whatever. And anyway, so did the proper blood test and...
was it low?
Yeah. So long story short, my test levels were in the low 400s. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you want to look at the American metric or the Australian metric, but it was on the low end of the range. So it was still in the range, just the low end. Yep. And he was like, it's still good. It's in the, it's on the lower end, but you're still in range. And then I was like, okay. And then I said, how do I bring that up? He goes, well, this is the thing. Your LH and FSH levels are above range. And I didn't know what any of that meant, right? So I was like, what is that? He goes, basically, these two hormones are released by your pituitary gland and they signal your testes to produce more testosterone and produce more sperm. And I was like, well, why is that happening? Why is it above the range? He goes, well, what's likely happening is your testes are starting to not do the work that they usually do. And so your pituitary gland is releasing these to tell the testes to work harder. So basically, you used to make more test and more sperm, but now you make less. I was like, do the math. Okay, well, maybe that is why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling.
So you're working harder for less.
Working harder, getting less, and the pituitary gland is screaming. And I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm just a regular dad that likes to train. So when I heard this, it started joining the dots for me. I was like, all right, so you're telling me that my testosterone levels used to be higher, and now they're lower, and my pituitary gland is screaming, and now these levels, FSH and LH, are above the healthy range. He's like, yes. I was like, well, I don't need a doctor to tell me like where this is heading. So I started doing all this research and talking to people that know about this stuff. And depending on who I spoke to, if they weren't knowledgeable on the topic, they'd go, well, do you feel okay? Is the first thing they'd say. And I'll be like, no, man, I feel fucked. You know what I mean? And the knowledgeable people would say, dude, if your FSH levels and LH levels are above, it means something. And also, if your testosterone levels are on the lower end of the range, that's still fucked. Because everyone's different. And these ranges are found by them, getting data from a cross-reference of people across the country. And that could be guys that are overweight and that are fat and they're bringing the bell curve down and you're in that bell curve, but you're not an overweight fat guy. You like to perform high, you train, all this stuff. You're a dad. Anyways, long story short, the first thing I did was like, nah, I'm going to lifestyle this. I'm not going to jump on anything. I'm going to try and lifestyle.
Sounds like me. Go ahead.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to tick every box that I know of, man. Like I had all, everything from like, dude, I was like looking for CBD gummies and everything to just line everything up. Like I went through a phase.
Snorting gummies.
Right? Yeah. I went through a phase where I was like every night for an hour before bed, screens off, no blue light. And I'd have a Lego set with my son.
Tonga, Kunkai, whatever they got all these other
Ashwagandha.
Ashwagandas. Before you know it, you had it on a drip.
I was actually building Lego with my son before going to bed because you need to do relaxing activities before bed to prepare your whatever, your circadian rhythm, this, that, waking up and putting sunlight on my face. I was doing everything. And I was still
sitting
having
outside naked with the neighbors.
Literally, like
I'm getting my testosterone up. My balls need sunlight.
Sun tanning my balls. Everything. I wasn't doing that, but I was doing all these things, and I was trying to I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try and lifestyle it first. And I did that.
How did it go?
No good. I did it for like a month, 2 months, still the same. And I went back to the doctor and I was like, it's not like nothing's changed. Did a blood test and everything was pretty much still the same. And my body looked like it was melting. You know what I mean? So anyways, I he said these multiple ways you can go about this. I can't help you because legally you're still in range. So he couldn't help me. He said, if you go to an endocrinologist, they're probably going to say the same thing after they make you jump through a bunch of hoops.
So what did he say? I know some lebs?
No. He doesn't need to tell me that because I know some lebs.
Sorry, lebs. Don't worry. Wogs. We're all the same. It's all good.
And then anyways, I started looking into TRT clinics.
Yeah.
Because they kind of live in that grey area.
Yeah.
So anyways, long story short, I got rejected from the first 2 clinics.
Why?
Because I was still in that range.
Oh.
But I was like, it's like for everyone, it's different. Low 400s for some people might be operate great, but for me, at that point was like I feel like shit. I can't operate like this. I can't live like this. So, anyways, the third one accepted me, and May 2025 I started TRT.
And
the first 8 weeks was a roller coaster.
What was the roller coaster?
Oh, dude, it was like, okay, when I just started, that week was like the week before I started was I could not wait to get on TRT because I was just running on fumes.
Yep.
I remember, oh man, my wife went to work and I had to take my 2 boys to daycare. I was so tired. I got in the car and I just sat there and I was like, how am I going to do this? Like, I can't even get down the fucking road.
Get you to depression, doesn't it, really?
Well, I can see how it leads down to that path because if I reckon if I stayed like that, that was the eventual outcome.
And then you'd be put on fucking stuff that suppress everything.
And then, right. And they'll be happy to put you on that stuff.
Oh, I've been
so anyways,
on it, man. It kills you.
So I could see how it goes down that path because I got to the point where I wasn't excited to do stuff. That's where it starts, I think, where it's like you have no excitement to get out of bed and do shit. And it goes down the whole thing. So anyways, I was sitting in the car. I dragged myself to drop him off into the, like I couldn't even, I got to carry one of them and he was like 3 kilos. I couldn't even carry him. Got him in and sat in the car and I couldn't wait to get home and have a nap. This was 9 o'clock in the morning, right? So I got home, I was like, I need a shower before I nap because I smell like shit. I'm in the shower going, I can't wait till this shower finishes because I want to jump in bed. It was that bad.
Yeah,
I was just so fatigued all the time.
Yeah.
So afternoon naps were a normal thing. Morning naps started becoming a thing. That week, I was like, I hope this TRT fixes this because I can't live like this. Couldn't wait to get started. Got started. The first 8 to 12 weeks was a real roller coaster because there were days when I woke up and I was worse.
Wow.
I literally sat on the couch for 3 days straight, like a piece of paper. See that paper, but blank on the couch like this. Like I had no personality, no feelings.
And you're on
numb.
TRT.
And I wanted this TRT. Is this it? Because I feel like I feel like numb.
Oh, wow.
But then there were days, man, I felt like I was on top of the world. I was like, wow, like energy.
Yeah.
I feel normal. And because I'd gotten so used to my baseline everyday feeling being so low, just feeling normal was like amazing.
Yeah.
I had energy. I was going for walks. I started getting small pumps in the gym and goes, oh, fuck, is that what it feels like? Like, wow, the blood's filling up. Like, it felt great. So the first 8 to 12 weeks was very up and down.
And then?
And then as I kind of found the right dose, it leveled out. And now I'm just at a nice hum. Right, I'm not blasting. I'm not interested in blasting. I'm just interested in getting it.
What's the mils?
Right now I'm on 120 milligrams.
How many times a week, or do you split it?
I split it. I do it 3 times a week.
Okay, yeah.
To get to that 120.
Yeah.
And people can argue you should be doing it daily. Some people will say, well, I only do it once a week and I'm fine. Everyone's different. And like I said, I'm not trying to like blast. I'm just trying
I heard cycling. I like that's much better. I heard.
Sorry?
I heard keeping it topped up like a few days or however you do it 3 times a week. I've heard that's better.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well. It's like doing like multiple doses throughout the week.
Interval, yeah.
It's closer to what your natural hormones would be producing. So like I said, I'm not a scientist. There's probably going to be someone that jumps in that says some shit, but whatever.
They will.
And I'm just at a nice place now. I feel great. Got the energy back. Afternoon naps have disappeared, right? So, normally I'd be talking to you and I'd be like, when can I go home and just hit the bed? Now, daytime naps are gone. Sleep is 1,000% better. I'm sleeping 6-7 hours straight.
Mood's better?
Mood's 100% better. I'm a better husband. I'm a better dad. I'm hanging out with the kids.
Oh, you made it.
This is it, man.
I know, Chris.
Right?
Listen to this. If you're going to make it, TRT.
You know? Well, and my advice is, and this is where TRT sits in that grey area.
Yeah, what's your advice?
I think, okay, let's unpack this. Let's look at testosterone levels lowering the same as how a guy would lose hair, right? Now, some guys, by 50, most guys have suffered some type of hair loss.
Yep.
If you've made it to 50 and you've got a full head of hair, you probably got some luck on there.
Yeah, you are.
If you're even older than 50, you say...
I say that, and I've got a few bald patches going on. So, but I think, let's keep going. Let's hang in there.
Yes, we'll hold on to this. Look at guys like Brad Pitt. He's in his 60s. He's got a full head of hair.
Yeah.
Here's the genetic lottery, right?
He is, yes.
Because who do you know that's going to last that long and not have some type of hair loss? Some guys, and everyone's different, right? There's that main spectrum, but everyone's different. You get those outliers like your Brad Pitts, and you get those outliers on the other end of it, like me, who lost his hair in his early 20s, right? I'd like to see testosterone lowering kind of like that. Most guys in their 50s are for surely going to suffer from some type of lower testosterone because naturally it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And you can't wish. It's like you can't wish your way to growing hair. It's part of your genetics.
Yeah.
Right? If you're in your 50s and you've still got super healthy, high testosterone levels, you're lucky. If you're in your 60s and 70s, you're an outlier. Right?
Yeah. And there's some people that are and have, and kind of TRT is a waste of money for them because they've got it still. I think they've got the energy, they're just not utilizing it correctly.
Why would you get a hair transplant if you had a head full of hair?
That's right.
To me, it's like,
yeah.
I had a 40-year-old, just quickly, I got a mate of mine that's in his 40s as well. He's in great shape. He was actually a client of mine, so I coached him and got him lean. He's a dad, 2 kids, runs his own business, does well. He got in great shape, and he's done a blood test, and there's nothing wrong with him. His test levels are very healthy. And in his 40s, like he said to me, he texted me and he's like, dude, what do you know about peptides? And I go, why? And he goes, I want that edge. And I was like, bro, you're 40 with healthy levels of everything. You're in great shape. That is the edge. The fact that you're in your 40s now and you're healthy, like that's the edge. You know what I mean? Most guys don't have that. Anyway, so long story short, that's how I see test declining, almost like losing your hair.
You can't stop it.
You can't stop it. Every guy at some point is going to suffer some loss. For most guys, it's around your 40s and 50s. You could be an outlier on one end, or you could be an outlier on the other end, right? But it's almost like for me, if a guy is suffering from low test, and he's got the symptoms and he's got the blood test, more importantly, because a lot of guys are not doing the blood test.
Yeah, I feel like I've got to go do one. The last one I did was a couple of years ago, which the levels were good, but I think we need to have a look at them again.
So I would, guys that are actually suffering because they've got the symptoms and it's affecting their life, and they've got the blood test and it's there in black and white, like TRT's for them. And there should be no shame in them using it and utilizing it the same way that a guy that needs a hair transplant goes to Turkey. Like maybe 20 years ago, it was like a joke. If you get a hair transplant, maybe someone will make fun of you. Says more about them. But anyways, we don't flinch when a guy gets a hair transplant now. He looks amazing. He looks better. He's got more confidence. And he's showing up better. If a guy's suffering from low test and he's got sleep issues and he's getting all these symptoms and he's just a shitter version of himself, and there's medication out there that can help him and it's healthy and actually helps him inside and out be the best version of himself, man, it's for them.
Yeah, I kind of see it. Like, I guess it is where we are today. Like I said, I don't know if it's necessarily needed for teenagers or 20-year-olds. I don't know.
Let me add the asterisk. Sorry to cut you off. Let me add the asterisk.
Asterisk, yeah, please.
It's for that guy. But there's all these other guys that are taking it that it's not necessary. Like you said, a teenager doesn't need TRT unless he literally has some type of issue with his testicles.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
You've done the bloods, everything.
But let's be honest.
But if
there's that area where guys are blasting test and saying it's TRT, and then there's those guys that don't need TRT, but they think it's going to give them an edge, so they jump on TRT without getting their blood checked.
And then it shuts down the automatic, and then it's gone.
You know what I mean? Like, you already have healthy test levels. Why are you replacing it with exogenous test levels to get to the same point? That doesn't even make sense. So
I
that's
agree.
where I stand.
Yeah, look, I'm the same. Like, I'm paying attention a lot. Like, perception is everything. And at the moment, I just can't. My daughter says you stare too much, and I do. I stare a lot at people. But I look at men today, not 50-year-olds, but maybe late 60s, 70s, 80s. And some of them, like, it's like they've lost their will, right? And no offense to the women, but it seems like this what's the word? Something. It's like they can't make decisions anymore, and the woman's in charge now, and come along, we're going shopping. Bruce, don't grab that orange. Put that orange down, and I'll grab that. And poor Bruce is like, okay.
He's going along with it.
Just going along with head down. And I think maybe that's the answer that these men need, and doctors should fucking wake up to, is that they should be checking their bloods at a certain age. It should be mandatory. And we should allow men to be men, which is good for women, good for all of us, good protectors. They grab the heavy baskets, they grab the heavy shopping bags, they grab their woman and they take them for a nice walk. I'm not talking about just for the bedroom, I'm talking about everything, just, cognitive behavior.
Yeah.
And I just feel that maybe that's what I'm starting to look at. Things have changed. And maybe before, well, no, it is the decline of man and men getting old. I think we've accepted for them to wimp out. And I think that's unfair. And I think if there's things that we can give, that can be given, that should be given, and that doctors aren't giving, they should be studying it. And I think that should come to a point where, for their mental health and everything we're hearing at the moment of, male suicide rates and things going on in this world, I think we need to be getting their bloods checked and checking their testosterone levels. And I think they should be always topped up to be normal. And I don't think that should ever be given up. I think that's where I feel, just looking at them, like the older a man gets, the more I see him sitting in the second row, in the third row, in the fourth row of life.
And it's sad, man.
And
That's scary.
he's lost that front row seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's scary to see it at that age, 70, 80, but imagine guys in their 30s and 40s that are already like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So My thing is TRT is great for the people that need it. The same way that hair transplants are great for the guys that need it. Because if you can do something that makes you better, more confident, more driven, a better husband, a better father, a better brother, a better boss, a better worker, a better version of yourself,
100%.
right? And it's healthy for you,
Yeah.
and it's monitored and it's great. Like, dude, if I'm gonna live another 40 years of my life, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to feel good living it. I don't want to shrink into what you're talking about, like being second, third, fourth row, and
I see it.
and being told what to do and having trouble doing things every day and being grumpy because I'm tired or because I've got a headache and all this stuff. Like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. And if someone's got a problem with that, that's great, man. That's your problem. Like, you know what I mean?
I think,
like,
man, I'm looking at it carefully. I think there is an attack on that.
yeah,
I think we are threats. And I think that the more they make us weaker, maybe more feminine, we don't need to be. And I guess I was going to say that. Like I said, we got women standing up telling us how to be men. And I kind of think, no, a woman can't tell us how to be a bloke. And I can't see guys telling women how to be women, but we can tell each other how to be that little bit better, a bit more understanding, and know about each other and know what we're like. Because I know when it comes to a guy, and we had, was it Hope? Which is funny, is that your surname? Host, your host. Hope. We had Hope on. She unpacked a guy perfectly. She said, guys suss you out. So they'll throw a little bit of bait, and if you take on the bait the wrong way, they won't open up. So they might say something about, if you want to share with someone that you're having a hard day, you might throw something out there that you'll want to share. But if you see their reaction is hostile or their reaction is ignoring you,
retract.
Then you go, no, I'm not opening up. But we fall into the trap thinking we've got to express. Express to us. Tell us everything. We want to hear everything. No, you don't. You don't want to hear everything that we have to say. And I think this is where we need to start just looking after each other. I mean, men looking after men talking with the right men as well. But also, making sure if it's TRT, testosterone, and if a guy's taking TRT at a later age, be supportive, good on you, mate, looking good. Also, talking about health and food and training. And in you at the moment, you've got this, I think I need some water. 1 second. You've got, what is it called again? What is it again?
Busy AF Dad.
What again?
Busy AF Dad.
BSF. Tell us about Busy as Fuck Dad and the fact that it seems like you're a mission to work on and help dads, men. What is this? What's going on?
So basically, coach men, and it starts from the core of just losing weight.
Yes.
Because that's a very easy concept for me and you to understand, but guys that don't know how to do it, it's basically just a program that puts them in place with a structure, how to eat, learning about food, learning about training, educating them.
Is it calories?
It is. I mean, it is to a certain extent, but it's not all, hey, as long as it adds into your macros, you can eat KFC all day, because it's a strong foundation of basic fundamentals of being healthy, being structured. That's simple as that. Can you sprinkle on some fast food here and there? Yes, provided it adds, it still hits within your calorie requirement. That's not a free for all to eat Maccas all day, right? So, and I really stress that, because a lot of guys think, oh, well, I can just eat this. And it's basically just coaching guys to lose 8 to 10 kilos, specifically that are dads, because as you know, like as dads, we have all these other responsibilities, and our time starts shrinking when we start having kids. And when your time starts shrinking, then you start finding excuses to not do the things that you need to do. To be a man, to be a leader in the household, and be the best version of yourself. And for me, that starts with having structure in place so that you're in the best shape that's sustainable for you. Because if you wake up in the morning and you're happy with what you see, you're going to perform better. You're going to be a better dad, a better husband, a better employee, a better teammate, whatever. So it really starts at that core.
Did you? How long have you been doing this for? This part.
2 years.
2 years. Was it based on what you've experienced?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it kind of like a reinventing yourself now in later life to knowing what your purpose is now, and saying, this is my purpose. I've lived it. I've breathed it. I've wrestled it. I'm still learning through it. And now I want to start helping men.
Absolutely. So it's basically my story. My arc was in my 20s, I had no problem getting in shape.
Yeah.
Dude, I lived at home with mum. Like all I paid was a phone bill, no responsibilities, no kids.
Yeah.
And it was easy to get in shape. I had all the time in the world. And I got all that knowledge and I knew how to do it. And then I became a father and I fell out of shape. And I was like, man, like it's hard now to get in shape and I have all the knowledge. Imagine the guy that doesn't know how to do it that now has kids. He's fucked, right? I need to help that guy. Because I'd always been wanting to help people with this stuff that want to learn. So when I was in my 20s, I was just helping people for free online. And then during my career as a graphic designer, I'd worked as a graphic designer for supplement companies for 12 years.
Yeah, I noticed that you were with a few supplement companies. Keep going.
So, and I'd worked behind the scenes with supplements and stuff. And now doing this coaching, I know that there's a lot of fluff out there. And for a guy that's just had kids and he's never been in shape before, now wants to start looking after his health, he needs all the help he can get because it's going to be hard. So that's the service that I provide.
What is the main reason that you're finding men are wanting to get into shape? I was training a guy, and I feel men today don't feel attractive, and in some ways, some don't feel like they're fuckable at 50. What I mean by that is, it just seems like
it's easy to let go.
It's just easier not to want to have vanity or handsome or feel good about yourself, and also to give up about intimacy and making love, and just to give up on yourself. What I mean is, I think men are wanting to be appealing to their partner. I think that's what I'm saying. They just want to, I think there's something, I don't know, you tell me, but what I'm seeing is sometimes men, like I said, the third row, they're sitting in family life like, is the wife okay? Are the kids okay? They didn't finish eating their pizza. I'll eat their pizza. So you're eating second meals. She didn't finish her plate. I'll eat her plate. Like they're the. I wrote a blog on that once. I wrote a blog about how young dads put on weight, and this is in my 30s. And it all starts in the dating game. You go to dinner with your girlfriend, and this is like when you're not on your own and you're eating chicken and rice. And she sits there and she orders and she goes, I can't finish it. And you go, I fucking paid for that.
Yeah.
Pass me your plate. And so you're eating it and you're putting on weight. And then suddenly you marry and you have kids, and then the kids go, you go,
finishing their nuggets and their chips.
And you go, what are we getting here? And they go, I'm going to get pizza for myself. And your wife goes, I'll get a small one for me. And the kids go, we'll get one. The kids have one slice.
We're done.
And you go, I'm not throwing this in the bin.
No
and
way.
You eat all the pizza, all the nuggets. And I realized, and I wrote a blog saying, you didn't know, but you're actually the bin.
Yeah.
Regardless you pay for it or not, I think the choice is throw it in the bin, not throw it down your own bin.
Yeah.
Because you paid for it. You're eating it because you paid for it. You're eating it because you don't want it to go to waste, but it's affecting you. So what do you think men want to be or feel like, and who are they doing it for besides themselves? Like what is the messages you're getting?
I feel like a lot of men are just losing sight of what it takes to be a man. Like, that's simple as that.
Yeah.
Like, and that can come from the media, from everything that's happening around us. And like you said, maybe there is some type of agenda where they're suppressing like men from rising up.
It is because they fight. They fight.
Right.
They hold guns.
And then so men lose.
They hold swords.
They lose sight of what it means to be a man and what their role is in the house and outside the house. And we need those reminders. And we also need those reminders that it's okay to be a man, and there's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself and standing up for your family and looking after yourself and being masculine and maybe being a little bit macho. Sure, there's borderline being a bit of a dickhead, but you've got to have a backbone, right? So there's that, and that's a whole thing to unpack. But literally, a lot of the things that I see is a lot of it is the mindset as well. What I mean by that is, look, the concept of losing weight is easy. right? You do these things and you eat these things and you basically eat a little bit less than you should and you'll slowly burn fat. And if you do weight training, you'll maintain your muscle mass.
But what I found, and I know I might know where you're going on this, but I find at an older age, losing weight, losing it rapidly, can make you age. So there's a kind of fine line to what you're probably doing for men. I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, is how do we make you lose weight, but how do we build muscle? And we're going to find that fine line that it's going to take a bit of time because. So go ahead.
So my goal is I do the programs that I have with men is always about teaching them the basics, getting the result in that time frame, but then highlighting the fact that after the program finishes, you need to continue and make this not make this because I help them make it a sustainable lifestyle. And it shouldn't be a rush because you didn't rush to get out of shape. No. That happened over 4, 5, 6 years. And getting back in shape should be a slow grind as well.
Well, I wanted to lose 25 kilos because that's how much I put on after my turning 50 and I was amazing.
Yeah.
But I decided I gave it 2.5 years.
Yeah.
2.5 years I gave to lose 25 kilos. Because I knew if I went too quick, I'd be withdrawn. I'd lose muscle. And I thought, 2.5 years and I just chipped away slowly, got into the 90s and 90s.
A lot of people don't want that though. They want it quick. They want a 6-week shred that changes everything. Like it's not. And there's one thing I could say. It's like a lot of people, they're in a rush and they'll justify it to themselves. Because I've spoken to so many guys and had clients where it was a rush. It was a rush to get. Well, the doctor said that, and I've heard every excuse in the book. Yeah. The doctor said I need to get this weight off quick, so I'm going to listen to the doctor. And I was like, yeah, but bro, you didn't gain it quick. No. You were 40 kilos overweight over a 10-year time frame. Yeah. Now in 12 weeks, you think it's just all going to come off by eating.
Probably going to get a heart attack and kill yourself at the end.
Right, you're straining yourself more, and it's not even sustainable. That's a whole other thing. No. But a lot of the mindset things I'm finding as well is the mindset of having to finish the food of the kids' plate, of the wife's plate.
You have to learn to chuck it in the bin.
Now, this is the thing. It's a mindset thing because it's like, what's the worst that can happen? Let's say if you did chuck the food in the bin. You might feel guilty for a day, then you forget about it and you're on with it. Maybe you hear your mum in the back of your mind saying, you should finish your food.
Ethiopians looking at you, whatever.
Right, yeah. We send it to the Philippines. They're starving there and all this stuff. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put a pizza in a box and send it to Manila? Like, fuck.
Yeah, man. I know, but that's right.
So there's that. So we have this mindset where we need to finish the food because it's a waste. And that comes with upbringing and conditioning. But
finish your plate.
I think, and this happens a lot. There's lots of these little mindset things that contribute. But I help men find solutions for situations like that, which is very common. Yeah. Now, the thing is, worst case scenario, you chuck food in the bin and you feel bad for a day, but it's not like you're not changing the world because you saved half a pizza, right? There's still going to be starving kids in Philippines. Or you could give it to your neighbor, or can't you just put it in the fridge and the kids can eat it tomorrow for lunch, or you have it and you count it and you can fit it in your calories or whatever.
Or know your partner.
Right.
She only has 2 slices.
Right.
I'm going to get a family size. She's going to have 2 slices. It's going to end up me, but I'm going to be happy about that rather than a whole pizza to myself and get her a small.
And I do that all the time.
Yeah, me too.
We went to Guzman GYG the other day, and I know the boys aren't going to finish their food.
There you go. So you didn't have to really order for yourself in a way.
I'll order a smaller thing, maybe a couple of tacos or maybe the small mini bowl, because I know I'm going to finish. The boys aren't going to finish the rest of it, and I'll do it. And there's easy get-arounds, but people, a lot of guys, they don't want to change their ways. It's so black and white. You know what I mean? No. Well, we can't chuck it out because that's a waste. So I have to eat it.
You just got to get smarter.
That's the only option. Then they eat it, and before they know it, they're eating an extra 2,000 calories a day because they're finishing everyone's food. I was doing
it when I first met my...
I've done it as well. And it's not until I snapped out of it. So I help guys with things like that. And usually it's a mindset thing, and I help find solutions so that they can stay sustainable. Things like that. A lot of guys, find excuses why they can't even exercise. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the time or something like that. It's like, man, I've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
Right. And I've got a client that has 4 kids and he lost 12 kilos.
Wow.
Right. And he works 2 warehouse jobs. So he's doing shift work across 2 jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he made it work. And if you really want it, you can make it work.
There was one, like I said, when I wrote the blog, I also wrote, if you're the type that needs to finish his plate but likes seconds, is caught up with going back to the pot and pulling out, I said, then change your plate size.
Yeah.
So if it's, like I said, if you're having a dinner plate, then get yourself an entree plate fill it till it's filled, like you do, and then all right, go back and get your seconds because it's a dinner plate.
Yeah.
That was before people counting calories. I didn't know about what counting calories is, and what I've learned with calorie counting, which again is a debate in itself. I just learned, wow, what really blew my mind was what 200 grams of fish, chicken, beef, and lamb, and how different it is in calories.
Very different. Yeah.
That was the best eye opener. That I realized, if I could have more tuna then, and if I could fill my plate, even pumpkin, all these things, I started understanding the mathematics behind it. I didn't need to know what a Mars bar was, or I didn't need to know what chocolate cake was in calories. Because it wasn't really, at the end of the day, I can't help myself. If I go, say, to an auntie's place or a person's place and he goes to me, I'm pretty disciplined. If he goes, look, do you want a cookie? And I go, no, man. He goes, my wife made them. I go, give me the cookie. Because as soon as I hear homemade, I just think love. I go, there's no calories in love. So I'm going to...
That's a good one.
I'm
taking that.
I do. I go, oh my God, your auntie made that cake?
Yeah.
I go, it's not from the box. She goes, no, she makes it from...
It's got to be good for you.
It's got love in it, man. There's no calories in love. So like I said to you, and when you look at the ingredients, she's basically used what's in the cupboard. There's salt, there's sugar, and where's BP 259 and the whatever, she doesn't have that in the cupboard, but it's in the packet. So I find you can find ways to do it. You just got to be smarter. You got to pay attention. Got to know your environment.
Yeah.
You got to walk in and go, all right, and know where you're going. Know where you're going that night. I'm going to a party, or this is coming up, or Monday to Friday, I got to get back on it.
And this is the thing, like knowing your environment. So there's education there, like knowing when you can kind of pick at this food and it's roughly like I teach guys calories, but I don't teach them to obsess over it because education is powerful. Yeah. You cannot. I mean, I know in the bodybuilding space, depending if you're a old school hardcore or whatever, there is that debate over calories and all that stuff. But I mean, with all that aside, you can't deny the fact that if you want to lose weight, you just eat a little bit less than your body needs for that day, and your body will use its next best resource as energy, which is your body fat. Yeah. Right? And that's like, you can't deny that. So I teach guys that. I make it easy, I make it sustainable. It's 2026. The easiest way to count your calories is if we had a little counter here. So every time we ate, that number there would change and it would tell you how many calories. That's the best way.
It probably will happen.
That doesn't exist. But the next best thing is we have an app and you punch it into the app and it does it for you. Like that's can it get any easier? Apart from having a number on your arm, that's the easiest. So I teach guys how to do that so that they can kind of stay sustainable. Now, like you said, it's all about knowing your environment.
I think it's knowing your environment.
And planning ahead.
Light bulb went off in my head just saying that when I said it.
Right? Like planning ahead. As a grown man, you should, structure is important. If you know you got a kids party coming up on Saturday, plan for it.
Someone's going to pass you fairy bread.
Right. Your wife's going to tell you something like, we're doing this on Sunday, we're going out with so-and-so, we're going here. Like if my wife said to me, Sunday we're going out with the Joneses and we're going to go to the steakhouse, I'd be like, nice. And I'd look on the menu and I'd say, well, I'm going to get that steak and I want to keep it tight, so I'm going to get that whatever. Or because I know my stuff and I plan ahead, I'll say, you know what? Great. Sunday's going to be a day where I'm going to be a little bit looser. Yeah, because Monday to Friday, I'm structured. Yeah. I eat correct. I train, which affords me to be able to go on Sunday and have lasagna or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that sounds so simple to guys like me and you. But the guys that don't do it, it's just, I'll help them break through those barriers so that they can become structured like that and knowledgeable. And then what comes with that is the guilt disappears. The guilt, because they'll have a bit of cake on a Sunday morning. Oh, the whole day's in the bin. I might as well just eat wherever I want and I'll start tomorrow. And that's the worst thing you can do. But what if you had a little bit of cake and I don't feel bad and I'll just have a salad for lunch and drop the calories down a little bit and whatever. And then you go into Monday like top notch and you're in a great mindset and you feel good. You don't feel guilty and you're on track.
No. Like, I think you need to know who you're with. And like I said, if you're out with the boys, it's big steaks and chips, whatever it is. Yeah. And you're out with the missus, she ain't going to eat much and you need to go. You just got to know I think as a dad, you got to know your environment. You're with your kids, like you said, you got a Guzman. I think you just got to know and you protect yourself. Yeah. And I think you can have fun with that. And like I said, you'll be somewhere where someone makes you a tiramisu and you go, my nonna made it, and you go, Italian nonna makes tiramisu.
Yeah.
I ain't walking away without trying this
Right,
one. I go,
right.
bring it on.
Have
And she goes,
some.
and she's happy, you know. She goes, oh my God.
And you're not socially retarded now.
Yeah, you're not retarded.
know
And
what I mean?
you see Nonna happy because you're eating her tiramisu. And you know, at the end of the day, it's up to you. And I've also said, if you eat something and say, and I don't, but if you eat something and say, this is going to make me fat, well, guess what? It's going to make you fat because your brain.
That's a
is
you
saying,
problem. That's right.
That's a you problem. It's going to make you fat. But if you ate something and said, well, you know what? Someone made it with love. There's a lot of love in it. You just have, like, I guess I said, like, caring for someone. It's you decide what you're going to do with it and you can make it sit with you nicely. And that's what I do. I always just go, all right, I'm not going to bastardize this. I'm going to say, mate, that tiramisu, the cream's got some calcium in it and chocolate cocoa, and I'll go through it all. It doesn't matter. And, you know, she's a blessing and from God, and oh my God, and I'm so lucky, and, you know, I get to share time with people. That's how I eat food. That's how I eat food all the time, because at the end of the day, I predominantly sit on my own with my 2 dogs eating food, and that ain't fun either. And it's chicken and rice, and I'm very happy. But like I said to you, everything has its moment, and I think you need to, like I said, know your environment. Do you think sometimes reality and social media pressure puts it on people a little bit?
100%. 100%. I feel like expectations now, like, perfect example, look at like the baseline for what is in great shape has gone so unrealistically high that I remember when the first X-Men came out and Hugh Jackman was shirtless, and I was like, that guy's in shape. And now he's turned into some, like, the level's just gone up so many times. Now he's like some superhuman, you know, enhanced physique, super dry and grainy, like he'd taken 17 different compounds just for that one shot. Like, it's that high now, that guy, like, you can't even, on top of the baseline expectation being so high of what a good in shape guy should look like, social media just constantly gives you a window into someone else's home where they're just showing you what they want to show you. They're gone through 1,000 photos to pick that one where they look amazing, and then they've kind of edited it with a filter. Then they post it up and put some caption like, "Oh, I just woke up," when in fact, right? And now we look at.
Funny enough, my camera was on before I woke up. How did that happen? I didn't.
The tripod was set up with the, and people are going, "Oh man," like, and it's human nature to compare yourself, comparison, and you compare, and go, "Oh man, I'm not even on that point. Why do I even try?" And a lot of guys probably don't even try because they're like, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to be like that. That's the standard these days. You know what I mean?
It's true. And it's the guy that's acting stoic, but he's talking too much. Little does he know, a stoic man doesn't talk.
Right. A stoic man doesn't need to
he doesn't talk.
Communicate and put all this out there and put a 4-paragraph caption on why he's a big man. Big men don't need to go around saying that stuff.
They find his whinging notes 4,000 years later.
Right. Yeah.
Chris would have loved that. So the supplement industry, behind the scenes, you've been part of that. You worked for, was it EP? Is it
EHP Labs?
Labs, and you also did something else. I got it here. You tell me.
I worked at Vitaco as well, which is the umbrella company for Musashi.
Yes.
A few other supplement brands, like Aussie Bodies.
Aussie Bodies.
Nutrilife and stuff like that.
Yeah, tell me about that story.
Well, I studied graphic design at TAFE and Uni.
Yep.
And because I've always been creative.
You look great, man.
Oh, thank you, man.
You look
Thank
amazing.
Yeah.
I knew you'd look amazing anyway. For
I'd always been creative. So as I was saying, in the early 2000s, I was airbrushing cars in my backyard for a bit of cash because I was great at art.
Yes.
And I picked up an airbrush and I was like, this is cool. And then I was working some odd jobs, and then a mate of mine was like, is that my wife? No. My mate of mine was like, dude, you need to get in graphic design. Like, how are you not doing it?
Yeah.
Because I was just floating and doing whatever. And so I was, all right, cool. So I went to TAFE and then I went to uni, came out, and I was in the car scene big time at the time. And I had airbrush cars and I knew people in the car scene, and I got a job. My first real graphic design job, full time, was at a magazine company in Silverwater. and they had all the car titles. They had Fast Fords, Hot Fords, Street Fords, Performance for Holden Commodores magazines, all that stuff. And I was working in the car scene for doing magazines, graphic design for a few years, and obviously I loved the car scene, but obviously my lifestyle was training.
Yeah.
And at some point I transitioned into still doing graphics, but within the supplement space. So now it was actually within health and fitness around 2012, I think it was. And I've been working for supplement brands on and off for like the past 12 years.
Right.
So
you still do that?
Now I freelance.
Yeah.
With my coaching business as well. So I've got those two things going on.
Yep.
But I don't particularly just do fitness stuff now. I do basically anything that tickles my fancy and aligns with,
values, whatever you want to do, what do you want to create. But talk about that fitness industry, the supplement industry.
Started off doing labels and then social media work and then everything to do with supplement companies, their marketing, point of sale stuff, right up until 2022. And I basically worked my way up from designer to senior to basically just managing the creative team.
Right.
So the last gig I had at a supplement company was with EHP.
Yeah, tell us about that. They're killing it out there at the moment.
Very well. So I actually worked for them. So the owner, the founder, I actually went to high school with him.
All right.
So we had that existing relationship. And then he had someone from there reach out to me and asked me if I wanted to do design work for a supplement brand that was new. And I was like, yeah, sure. And he goes, oh, cool. Come meet the owner then, the founder. And I went to meet up with him. I was like, dude, like, what's going on? Like, I had no idea it was him. Anyway, so I've worked at EHP Labs on 3 different occasions. So I've had 3 different runs. In between, I worked at other supplement companies like Vitaco. But yeah, I watched that go from literally 2 people in a tiny office like this into what it is now, which is like a international like behemoth of a brand that's killing it. So I've watched it grow. And when I first started, I was a graphic designer. And then my last run there, I basically managed the creative team, which was anywhere between 10 to 12 creatives. So like other graphic designers, videographers, 3D designers and stuff like that, animators in their team to basically cover all their graphics, which in, this day and age, like creating content is a normal thing for a business of decent size. So, anything for socials, anything for paid, all their labels of their products, all the B2B stuff, their trade marketing, everything pretty much. So, and that was fun. It was good to kind of get a lot of insight over those years into how.
What was the insight?
Oh, you said not to shit on supplement brands too much. So maybe you should cut that bit out. But having good formulas is one thing. Yeah. But having a great brand is what's going to take you out of the stratosphere.
I think maybe we want to hear that because we're quietly putting something together.
So supplements.
Maybe we'll show you when we finish.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Supplements. Do you need them? You don't need them. But they make a big difference and they help a lot.
Well, that's why they call them supplementation.
Correct.
I mean, we need to understand that. That's true.
So, how do I say this without being, they're not necessary, but they help a lot. So I definitely do recommend them to most people, but I don't recommend everything under the sun. I have my preference on what's needed for the 30 to 40-year-old dad. But I think you can have a good product and amazing marketing and do well.
I think that's where you really should be.
Right? Because you can have an amazing product.
Yeah, of course.
But if your marketing is just good, you're just drowning in the ocean now of all these other supplement brands. That's what I learnt in a nutshell. Marketing is big. You can have a great product, but if no one knows about you, you're not going to sell it.
Well, what is a product you're offering as a supplement to the older men? What is it? If you said, look, I like telling them to, go get this. Because at the end of the day, proteins, you can have a protein shake, but you get your proteins from meats, I guess, and a few different products. And then you got where you get your carbohydrates from and, also where just sugars, salt, sodium. Like I said, you can get it. You can find it.
You get it in food.
You get it through food. But sometimes we, you know, like I said, need to top up a little bit here and there. Where is it that you find at the moment you're telling men?
I think, okay, this can be argued all day long because everyone's going to, you ask 100 different people, you get 100 different opinions. My opinion is this: most men in their 30s and 40s, are under-eating their protein requirements.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So I would recommend a good protein powder, because once they realize how much protein they should be eating, and then they start calculating how much they've been eating throughout the days, they realize, man, I'm under-eating by 50 grams, 100 grams. And that's something that a supplement can help fill that gap.
Yep.
So a protein powder is what I recommend. And the controversial part would be, I also recommend a pre-workout.
Okay.
Right?
That is a controversial.
It is because some, oh no, you don't need it. You could probably have, but how I see a pre-workout, and I'm sure a lot of guys that train can agree, the pre-workout is a few things. The important thing is it's the ritualistic part of preparing to go train.
All right.
It's the wake up, I might have a small meal, banana, whatever, get some carbs in me. But then the ritual starts, which is I get my pre-workout and I fill up this much water and I sit here and I sip on it for the next 20 minutes, or I jump in the car and I'm sipping on it. And it's the ritualistic because now I'm going through the motions of getting to where I need to be. Because a lot of guys, the trouble is they can't get up in the morning to go to the gym. The pre-workout obviously gives them a little wake-up call. Yeah. And it's the ritualistic thing of, I've taken my pre-workout and the next thing I do is I hit the gym and I go hard. And then I come home and then I have my protein shake. Do you need your protein shake? No, you can probably have a full meal. But if you're going to supplement and you need protein because you're not hitting it, it's that ritual. It bookends the workout. The pre-workout, you get ready, you prepare mentally, you get a little bit of a push, you have your workout, and then you bookend it with the protein shake. And that's, I mean, if you can tick those boxes, you've set your day up for success already.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I recommend those two. If I was to start my own supplement brand, I'll probably have those two as the opening products. We can talk about numbers, but from my experience, I know that a pre-workout is a relatively cheap product to produce. Yeah. And has better margins than, say, a protein powder. Protein powders have smaller margins.
Yeah, they do. I find one of the things I think is good is I try to bring something with me when I'm training. You know, like
something to sip on.
BAAs, BCCA.
Intra-workout.
Yeah, I try to be intra-workout. But pre-workout, I found, Chris Thomas won't like it, but I've been Cocoa Pops with creatine.
Yeah. So no caffeine?
I have Cocoa Pops.
So for someone that owns a coffee brand, you don't
because I drink enough coffee during the day.
You don't reap
buddy.
the benefits of caffeine before you train?
I can drink a long black at 8 o'clock at night and go to bed.
Oh no, I could not.
So no, I can. I've got a mate, God love him. Sometimes we go out. He goes, "Do you want to go out?" Like he's married, and he just goes, "You want to meet me down to Brighton somewhere?" And we go, "Yeah, okay." And we go sit drinking long blacks, talking bodybuilding. Long black.
Yeah.
You know, we're drinking and talking bodybuilding. But yeah, I found Cocoa Pops. I do, because they're also low in calories. And
they are. I need to get on this, man. I'm missing out.
Have a look at.
Are you having it with protein powder in the milk or what?
So, actually, I did do pre-workout Cocoa Pops with protein powder. I did. No joke. Okay. I did. But
that's a balanced meal, right?
Yeah. But what I do is, it's Cocoa Pops is rice. Go have a look at it. It's 4 ingredients. You're gonna laugh your head off. Firstly, it's 4 ingredients. That's all it is. The rest is all wheat. The rest is all different. Cocoa Pops is the only, and rice bubbles is rice. So it's the only rice. It's the only rice meal in the cereal area. So I go, all right, cacao, some sugars, whatever it is, you know. So I have, and it says, 2/3 is, I think, like, you can quote me if I'm wrong. I don't know. It's about 100 calories. That's about it, which is nothing, right? And I put creatine because I want to have creatine before my workout. So I throw creatine in there. And I use water. I just put a bit of water, mix it up, like just stir it. And then I sit there just before a workout. I'm enjoying Cocoa Pops. And a few guys at the gym are loving it because they go, oh, mate, it motivates me to go to the gym because I can't wait to have Cocoa Pops. And they
Well,
sit there and eat
with
Cocoa
most
Pops.
guys, I feel like the pre-workout energy is. I mean, this
And
is
you know how
the
vascular I get?
yeah. Oh yeah, you got the carbs and stuff.
And actually, sorry, and I do sprinkle a bit of rock salt on top.
Yeah, that would help.
So I
with the
go,
pump as well.
so I put Cocoa Pops, rock salt, creatine. Sometimes I have just shaken up quickly some protein powder. I've even done a protein shake and I throw Cocoa Pops in there.
Yeah,
And then I drink that before I
that
leave.
makes sense.
So it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I've done I put a bit of rock salt and I just sit there and it's light, really super light. And I don't know, I've just found veins are coming everywhere when I'm training. I did it just a bit of a hack and I've been doing it. It seems to work. I don't know if it's, I don't know. I haven't gone to laboratories and checked it all out and done the science on it. But yeah, that's kind of like, kind of thought, that's what I do. I found also magnesium's good.
Yeah, I definitely have.
I have to say
night.
magnesium's is really important. I found magnesium's good. So I think that's helping me at the moment, also with my sleep.
Yeah, for me, my sleep stack is actually something that I really got into when I was trying to sort my sleep out, and I was like trying to lifestyle everything. I put together a stack of sleep supplements. Magnesium was one of them, magnesium glycinate, as well as a few others like glycine, L-theanine, ashwagandha.
I got one with ashwagandha. Yes.
Yeah, so I have these 4.
You don't want to say it in case I got wrong, but since you said that's right.
So I take those 4 before bed. That's my ritual before going to bed.
Yeah,
helps with my sleep. I feel like at this age, sleep is something that you really need to protect.
Yeah, and I think that kind of cocktail you need.
I think a lot of guys underutilize their sleep. They just don't, especially in their 30s and 40s. You got kids, you got demands, you got responsibilities. Man, you need to protect it. You need to protect your sleep. In your 20s, it's different. You got no responsibilities. You get 4 hours sleep. You rock up at work. Who cares? Whatever. You're dragging through your shift and you go home. And you can sleep after work. But now you can't because you've got all these things to do. So, and you've got to be the best version of yourself, energetic every day. Sleep is, man, protect it like it's gold.
And what's a good label? Where are we today? What do people like?
It depends.
What's screaming at people at the moment, you reckon?
So where we sit with labels now is...
colourful?
Yeah, I mean, it depends who your market is. Who are you speaking to?
All right.
Because you look at something like, Redcon, which is a dark black label. It's more serious. It's probably for the grown man. That's a little bit, doesn't want all the fluff. And then you got the products or the labels or the brands that are for the younger audience. So the younger guys in the 20s and super colorful. Maybe even have like some cartoon graphics on them to get their attention. And just remember, like the supplement industry is kind of broadened out now because now these supplements for gamers, right? So these products specifically for gamers to keep them alert and awake longer, and I don't know what else they market, like faster hand speed coordination or something.
Yeah.
And it's really just like like nothing revolutionary. It's like caffeine and flavored water and maybe some focus supplementation in there as well. So it depends who it's for. And also depends, is the brand a direct-to-consumer or it's being sold online, or is it a brand that sits on a shelf? Because then the label is going to be different then as well, because a label that sits on a shelf, someone's going to pick that up and look at it, feel it, analyze it, turn it around, whereas online, they don't get to touch it and they're just seeing it for a flat image. So there's differences in the way you design the label depending on the use case there as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which is a lot of things like that people don't think about.
No, I'm just because we're creating something. But I'm sure we'll show you when we're done. But
we'll switch this off and we can talk about it.
Nah, yeah. But the thing is, before we go over the body, because we're going to go over the body in a second, you're going to be a personal trainer. How long have you been married for?
Since 2019, 7 years.
And how long have you been with your missus?
Since 2014, so 12 years.
So
I feel like if I don't answer those 2 questions quick enough, I'll get you hear me somehow and I'll get in trouble.
No. It's like those funny skits that they do when the wife walks up and goes, "Hey, are you married?" And the guy goes, "Oh, sorry, unfortunately I'm married." She goes, "Unfortunate."
Yeah.
So we're going to do that again.
Yeah, that's right.
He's practicing the guy.
Be careful.
So it's so funny. So you got to be careful. So what? Dad, married,
3 kids,
3 kids,
business.
gym, business. What's the secret to keeping the relationship together on your part?
Okay. So to me, what I found is this. Well, what's the secret to staying in shape? You need to protect your gym time. You need to eat correctly. And the gym, you don't just wing it and go when you feel like it. You have your set times and you allocate time to your day.
Or you go when you don't feel like going.
Right? But it's like that. You have to allocate time to your missus. And you go and you do that date or you spend that time with her, even on the days that you don't feel like it. As a matter of fact, just like training, it's even more important to do it when you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Right? So we allocate time to spend with each other, whether it's half an hour when the kids are asleep, just sitting next to each other on the couch, which is what a lot of couples do. Or if it's we allocate once a week, we go out and we go get grilled burgers or whatever.
Nice.
Or we drop the kids off maybe every fortnight, every month, we drop the kids off at my mum's and we'll go do something together for a couple of hours. But you have to allocate that time. If you just wing it, especially now with 3 kids, like if you just wing it and say, well, we'll go on that date when the time pops up, the time will never pop up. You know what I mean?
It's like I've come to realize a few things with bodybuilding, maybe with relationships too. One, if you can do the same thing over and over again, that's completely boring, you're going to make it. So turn up to the gym is boring, eating healthy is boring, and the food you're eating is very boring. It's just boring, right?
That's how winning is done.
That's how winning's done. And I think motivation only comes when you leave the gym because you're happy you did it. So I think it's the same thing with relationships. You just got to do the mundane, which is committing to sitting next to her on the couch, holding her hand, or going out to dinner. And the reward is after, because you've spent time with her, it's grown, the affection grows. So I think that's what I've learned from what you've just said is it's not feeling it, it's just doing it.
Yeah.
And the feelings come later.
Yeah. Well, and the feeling could even just be something where it's like after 12 years, you look back and you say, well, fuck, we made it this far. Because I think a lot of people get relationships wrong. I think what they think it is that you find this perfect person that's perfect for you and everything's perfect and you don't have shitty days. And then if you go in with that expectation, the day that you do have that shitty, and you will have them, is when you start thinking, oh, we've had a shitty day. Like, this is not going to work. Like, well, no way. You know what I mean? Where I feel like for me, what I found is that it's not about finding the perfect person because it's never going to be someone that's 100% perfect for you. You have to find someone that's as close to that 100% as possible. Maybe she's an 80, 85, but then you got to compromise the rest. You know what I mean? And there will be those crappy days, crappy times. Accept that. It's part of the package. There's no perfect relationship. But if you can hold hands even during those crappy times and go through those crappy times, you come out stronger and closer. That's what I found.
No, I think, like I said, there's no, I don't know about a foolproof plan, but I think if you're in it, male, female, and we leave no soldier behind. We're all out of here. We're you're going to save everyone. Go back and get them, and I think that's what it's about. I think it's just you just gotta always remind yourself who's your team, and also distractions come along, and people come along, and they should never take the presence or the position that the people closest to you are. And I think too many people do that. And for me, I've always been a firm believer that, like I guess like Chris or anybody that is in my life, no other shiny thing takes precedence over those guys because, like I said, they haven't proved themselves. And at the same time, I don't need them to prove anything because right now I think investing in what you have around you and making them important, and it's easy to say no to strangers or say no to things that, really haven't been a part of your life. And I think just stay focused on what you have around you because it's true, the grass is not greener on the other side. It ain't. But at the same time, you just got to stay. Like I said, just look after your crew. That's what I think.
And that's how I see it now. I'm in that bubble now where it's like the only thing that really matters to me is my family. My wife and my kids. I've got it. Like I'm set, man. Like I don't like. Man, a wise man once said, "We're all going to make it," and he was right. Because where I am now, man, like it's a blessing. Like
it is.
I don't have the need for anything else outside my bubble.
There's nothing out there, man. I'm telling you, there's nothing out there. All right, we're going to go over the body now.
Yes. What does that mean?
So it means I'm going to give you a body part.
Okay.
And I just want you to give me one exercise for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can say sets and reps if you want, but if you don't, I don't mind. And if you don't train it or don't train anyone doing it, just say, nah, don't do it.
Okay.
But traps.
Oh, okay. Mine in particular suck.
Yeah.
So my next kind of like lean bulk kind of phase is I'm going to focus on my traps because I've just left them for so long and I've got a skinny neck and I think it's because of my traps. They're
So what are you going to do? What's one exercise you're going to incorporate?
Okay, so just basic bread and butter stuff. I don't do anything super fancy. I've said to myself, I'm going to hit them with heavy dumbbell shrugs.
Yeah.
6 to 8 rep range. It's got to be challenging, and I'm going to track my volume so that I'm progressively overloading, which means over the time period of my lean bulk phase, which will be around 15, 16 weeks, every week I want to make sure I'm lifting more volume with that particular exercise.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit it 3 times a week. It'll be on my shoulder day, my back day, and also towards the tail end of the week, I'm going to have an oddball day where I do weird body parts that I want to bring up. So it'll be my forearms, my traps, and my rear delts.
Okay. What's your split?
My split right now is basically push-pull legs, rest.
Okay. Oh, you don't do a rest in between it?
No.
So 6 days straight?
But in saying that, my second round of push-pull legs is nowhere near as aggressive and intense as the first 3 days.
Okay.
So, and I've been doing that for ages.
Something to think about for me.
But in saying that, I did notice that I have these lagging body parts that I want to bring up. So the next kind of lean bulk phase, which will come in the next 3 weeks actually, will be 3 days a week. I'm going to hit shrugs on shoulder day, back day, and oddball day. And then counting my reps, counting my volume to make sure over the weeks I'm progressively overloading and getting stronger on that exercise.
I think that works because I saw it with calves. My calves grew because I hit them a lot during the week now. And I usually make them the first exercise.
Yep.
Because
you're fresh.
Yeah, because I heard that from Jay Cutler, because usually when you leave them at the end, you're looking at the front door and you go, quickly to my calves, I'm out the door. Because you've done legs or you've done something and you go, oh, it's calves. And you go, look at that door. Oh, quickly, let's quickly do it quickly.
You wrap it up and you pump it. Yeah,
but when you first go in, well,
with intention,
you're not leaving.
Yeah.
So it's all about the intention.
He's got big calves too, so you can't argue with that advice.
No, it was a good advice. All right, delts, side delt. What's it? An exercise.
Right now, I've got really bad tendonitis in my elbows that I've had for over a decade. So I actually try to avoid dumbbell laterals. What I'm doing now for my side delts is I train at home and I've got a single cable pulley machine. It's got an upper and a lower. I attach a fabric handle to the lower. I attach it to my elbow here. I sit down and I do lateral raises for my side delt without actually having to grip anything. So it doesn't hurt my elbows and doesn't flare up my tendonitis. And I do that for both sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about rear delts?
I do bent over
Flies.
Reverse flies with dumbbells on the bench. Just very basic, I try to go as light as possible, but still feel the squeeze because I find that once you start getting too heavy, all these other back muscles start kicking in and now it's a row, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there is a fine line between super heavy. Front delts?
I don't train them.
Okay. Chest?
Okay. Man, I'm a very bread and butter kind of guy.
Most are. It's just one exercise. It's all right. It's always been the bread and butter ones.
Okay. I'm trying to be different. I'm not going to add in. Should I try and add something with this fancy fly technique? No, you know what, man? Nothing beats. Oh, okay. I'll say this. I always try to prioritize upper chest because I feel like a lot of guys, you have such a more like, how do you say this? Like a more masculine physique with that strong shelf. And I feel like a lot of guys lag on that. And a lot of guys have that droopy tit thing where they've been doing too much flat and it kind of brings out the lower pec. So I would say, okay, chest, incline, dumbbell, bench press.
Okay. I've decided only last week, I'm going to train actually chest 2 or 3 times a week now. Okay. I think I need to bring it up. I think it lacks. I think everything else takes over. So, and I've found some of the exercises that are really good because you said you want to be fancy. I find dips. Dips are good, like full length dips.
Yep.
And also
weighted dips.
Sometimes, yeah, there's machines that are really good, but you've got to find the position on the seat.
You're mucking around, yeah.
You've got to muck around, but it's good to find. And also pullovers, lying on the bench and doing pullover. But
that's controversial, that exercise, right?
I know, it can do your wings as well. It can do your back.
So it's a weird.
I think
exercise.
it's where it's either full arm or a bit bent. There's I think, Middleage said it, and Nick Walker said some exercises, and I think there's some coaches out there, they give them in America, they give them these exercises and they go, no, that's for something else. And he goes, no, it's going to hit your front delts if you hold it here. And they go, oh, fuck, it does.
Yeah, it does.
So sometimes, you think, oh, no, that's for tricep. No, it's because the way you're holding it, I'm asking you to hold it like this and I'm asking you to move it like this. So there's certain things.
That's right.
And I think that's what I find with pullovers. If you find, you got to find the spot.
Yeah.
And if you feel it, you feel it. Back.
Ooh. I don't do deadlifts. I've got a hernia that I'm pretty sure I got.
Oh, so you do it for back, building a big back.
I was doing deadlifts in 2019, and I'm pretty sure, 2018. Pretty sure I got a hernia from doing it because I got pain, and then now I've got a hernia, and I've never did them since then. Lately, I've been enjoying neutral grip weighted pull-ups.
Oh, wow.
So no fancy grip, just like neutral thumbs pacing each other, probably around shoulder width apart, I think.
Yep.
And I've got a belt at home that I attach a 20 plate to. Nothing crazy, a 20 plate.
Yep.
And then I'll just do maybe 8 to 10, and they get hard, man, like real easily. But I've been doing them lately. Love them, man.
Abs.
I don't train them. I feel like I probably should.
Me too. I haven't trained for long, but now I've decided to train them because I've lost this weight and I don't know where they are. So I thought maybe I've neglected them. Bicep?
I don't train those either. But
you got good biceps. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, that's why I don't train them, because I feel like they just grow. My arms have always been like a standout body part. But if I was to give one, I would say I love doing hammer curls with the dumbbells.
Okay. Triceps?
This one's a banger. This one's like, more people should be doing this. I do a skull crusher, but I do it on an incline bench.
Yeah.
And instead of letting the bar go to my forehead, I let it go behind my...
Oh, big pull.
And it drops it into this hole, and it fully gives you a full stretch. And it's hard, man. You get it out. You need someone there to spot you, because you go heavy, and it really gets this...
No, it's all right.
It really gets this back part
you got good arms.
in towards the armpit.
Well, it seems to be working. But just before we go past any further, if you were to do abs, what would you do? Because you're probably going to train abs, so maybe we'll... Yeah. What would you do? So we can...
I do something weighted, because you need to have... Past the point of training for a year or two, you really need to start using weight to get the muscles.
Is that like cable crunches or something like that?
No. I find they're weird. Like I would do a leg raise, a weighted leg raise. I'd probably do, you know what I'd like to do? On a flat bench, legs hanging over, arms holding onto something, and I'd put some type of weight on my leg. Maybe those ankle.
Yep.
You can't go very heavy. Yeah, I'd probably do some ankle weights that are relatively heavy and do leg raises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Forearms?
I don't train them, but I plan to in my next phase. And actually would do... What could you do?
It's all those roll things.
Everything with a thing. But I just feel like it gets funky at some point. Right?
I think forearms is making a comeback. Everyone's training them now.
Yeah,
Once upon a time, I kept saying forearms, don't train them. Now it's training them. So they're making a comeback. 80s comeback. Quads.
Oh, I train at home now, and I don't have any crazy leg machines. I just do squats and weighted dumbbell lunges. But I do miss the leg extension machine from the gym, like commercial leg extension machine. I haven't done that in years, and I miss it. But I just do squats, man.
Squats. Hamstring.
Stiff-legged deads with heavy dumbbells. Yeah.
Glutes.
Oh, I don't train them as much as my wife tells me I should. I do just barbell hip thrust, but I do that like once a month.
Do you do it in private?
Of course.
Yeah.
No eye contact or nothing.
Sure. I just want to, it's not one where I would walk up to you and ask you, how's your weekend been?
Well, I would do it with my wife.
I probably wouldn't even walk up to you.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've bagged glutes, hip thrusts, haven't we? It's been a long time, Chris. At the beginning, it was a winner.
Yeah.
Even pissed some of the female guests we had on. Calves?
At home, I have, because I train at home. Like I've got my home gym, and it's well equipped, but it hasn't got everything. Like I said, I've got this lower pulley. I have a weight belt, a belt that I attach to this lower pulley, and there's a ledge right on this machine, and I actually step on the ledge and I do calf raises on that ledge with the weight of the pulley pulling me down. So it's good. It works.
Tibialis?
Dude, who trains that?
I know. I do actually.
To be honest,
I do.
Okay, I don't train it now
because they've got a machine at the gym that makes me train.
There's a machine at the gym that I was going to during COVID, and they had a tibialis machine. That's the muscle at the front here, right? Yeah. Where you sit in it, you lock in, and then you raise your toes up. Man,
I feel like it's helped my calves.
Yeah, for sure. It adds to the thickness.
But I've incorporated. But I wanted to sound technical. Well, time to promote it yourself, mate. Where can they find you? Where can they find? What is it? Fit as fuck, Dad, or something? What was it called?
Jump on my Instagram. It's brand new. I'm trying to build up the audience there. It's Busy AF Dad.
Oh yeah, Busy AF.
I've got an older account with I think 15,000 followers. It's not very active at all. I still check it here and there, and maybe might post here and there. But for the most part, it's not active. Come and find me on Busy AF Dad. Posting content there, helping dads in their 30s and 40s get some structure in their life, lose the belly, drop a couple of kilos, and just feel better about themselves.
Oh, I love it, man. Well, mate, I want to say thank you for coming on. I really appreciate the conversation.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Hey, guys, another podcast done with another wonderful guest. To continue what we're doing, if you could subscribe, hit the notification bell, press like, it only helps us to grow this channel even further.